Good morning, everyone. Just gathering and just getting started. A couple minutes late. I couldn't find my phone. What are you gonna do? I tried to wear red today, but I realized that this is not very red. Beth! Oh. Thank you guys for the love. Beth, I want to give you a big hug. Good morning, Nikki. Anybody have a red shirt I can borrow? Because this is purple. Okay. Hold on. What is one surefire way to determine, just take a quick guess, how to tell if one of your chakras is out of balance? A very easy way to tell is to go look at your closet and tell me what colors are missing. Red is missing from my closet. I have a couple of pieces, but I don't wear them often because honestly, they make me a little uncomfortable. All right, I still have to make my tea. I have my board set up today so we can chat about the root chakra. I know April has been bumpy. Hell, the universe has been bumpy. Right, everybody? Beth, you have black and red and a lot of purple because your daughter buys you shirts. Nice. I'm always very hesitant to buy people clothing, honestly, for that reason, because of how sensitive we can be to different colors and whatnot. So I'm in a new space. Hey, Tran. I'm in a new space here. Not a new house. I just rearranged my house because when tornado hits, the best thing to do is just reorder everything, at least for me. So the space is not entirely put together, so we might have to like camera angle a couple of times to see what works best today. Sorry. A little tiny earthquake. Hey, Monica, good morning. But I have my tea goose this morning. Mother Goose, she's going to help us, I don't know, stay hydrated, I guess. Thanks, Mother Goose. I need to go get a little bit of honey. And, oh, sound, not so good. Hold on. Thank you for letting me know. Lipstick, not so good either. What the heck is that? Is that a little better? This phone stand tends to block out the sound, so. Better? If not, I can rearrange it again. Yeah. Yay! Okay, thank you guys for noticing. Cat lady, cat or day, glitter bee. Hi. I had to push. Hey, Natalie. Guys, we are live on YouTube and TikTok. So since TikTok likes to cause chaos, if it starts to do its thing, just move over to YouTube. I'm hoping to move a good portion of the 12,000 people we have following here on TikTok over to YouTube so that I don't have to deal with TikTok when TikTok does these things, right? We can just be like, let's go over there. Almost there, guys. Slow go this morning. Right. Much less. Yeah, of course. Alrighty. So, not so alone in the buffering zone. Is it still, it's doing it again? Okay, we are live on YouTube as well. It likes to buffer here on TikTok and tell you that we're not here. So maybe I should put this over here and be like, go to YouTube. Nope, it's stuck. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Apparently, as soon as I say the name of another platform, TikTok will lag or slow this because they are cracking down on sending people off platform, which I find absurd because many of us have businesses and other things off TikTok. So just be aware that TikTok is doing a lot of shenanigans, and if you want clear picture and clear feed, come over to YouTube. Plus, it's a wider view. Camera's not quite as good, but see, currently on YouTube, you can see me pouring maple into my tea. Shh. TikTok didn't know that. TikTok didn't know that. Faith. Interesting. Yes, TikTok has been doing that for the last, I want to say like 6 months or so, like maybe a little bit less than that. 3, 4, I don't know. Since a little bit before 2025. We had a really great flow going here last summer. I had, you know, some upwards of like 100 or more people in my lives on occasion, and then not so much. Then not so much. When they started taking down my content. It must be good, right? Isn't that the theory? It must be really good content if TikTok is hiding it from you, if TikTok is not letting you see what we're talking about. I don't like to be crafty with my words or subversive with my words, so TikTok doesn't like me because I like to just be straightforward. YouTube doesn't mind. YouTube doesn't have the AI watching in the background saying, you can't talk about chakras, Wazowski. I'm watching you, Wazowski. WRXRES. You look like you have some secrets. I can't even pronounce your username. What is it? Oh gosh. That brings back some like speech therapy things when I was a kid. Having to learn how to say the R and the W different. Man. Okay. Joe, good morning. Thank you. My little goose. My little goose. I need a bigger teapot, honestly. Faith, maybe sometimes it's just not good content, like harm and things like that. Yeah, absolutely. Like TikTok takes stuff down like that. But if you go browsing through TikTok, you will see some quite nefarious or suggestive or divisive content that is up and getting lots of views and lots of play. Whereas content like mine and other people who are doing, I'm not saying it's just me, right? I'm not the victim targeted, but it's this style of content that doesn't really get pushed out. And I don't know if it's because it's just because it's not divisive, so everybody's not like, ooh, yeah, let's argue about it. But it depends on the words I use, right? The AI wants to say that I can't use the word ignorance. If I'm talking about my own ignorance, TikTok will be like, oh, you said that word. Yeah. Anyway, today we're talking about the root chakra. Today we're talking about the root chakra, and we're talking about the whole month of April is about the root chakra, and I was supposed to be posting content for you guys and just didn't quite make it. I was struggling with my root chakra. So today I'm going to do a kind of marathon live. And we're going to do this for a while and talk about the root chakra, and we're going to talk about some practices. I'm going to show a couple of practices, but really I'm going to invite you into our classes. If you want to practice things with me, we have a Wednesday night yoga class. It is on Zoom, so now you can access it even if you don't have Discord. Reach out if you want to join. Otherwise, you just need any level of membership, and you can find that over on patreon.com/move-with-change. I should put that up there too, huh? Curtis, it's not what the populace is looking into intentionally on the regular. Yeah, I know that most people don't go to social media for self-help, self-care. I mean, actually, that's not true. I say that, and then immediately my pirates are like, excuse you. Yeah, we do, actually. There are a lot of people who do go to social media for support, for advice, for guidance, for insight. And I think social media platforms capitalize on that, right, in its own way. But it's not something they push out because, again, we are in a certain paradigm. We are operating within a narrative, and TikTok, and just like Facebook and these other places that have algorithms, they are designed to elicit certain types of emotions, certain types of responses. They're intended to harvest your time and attention to keep you attentive. So if it's stuff that actually gets you off the screen, they're not going to show you that, because that's the kind of that's not going to behoove the businesses that benefit, the companies and the corporations and the people that benefit from you being here on social media. So it's better to push divisive stuff. It's better to push stuff that gets you emotional. It's better to push stuff that gets you to react rather than respond or put it down. So your root chakra. Again, this entire year we are talking about the chakra system, the energy system. We are working each month through a different layer of the energy system. In January, we talked about the aura. In February, we talked about the koshas and the elements inside of the body and the channels of elements inside the body. April now, we are going into the root, and then we're going to work our way all the way up. Hey, Chocolate Frost. We're going to work our way all the way up through the chakras, and then I have a surprise for you in December. November is going to be the upper chakras, the soul star chakras and whatnot. I forgot March. March, we did the lower minor chakras. If you want replays of classes, they are available via membership on Patreon. I have a YouTube channel for that. And if you have any questions about that or need a link, send me a message and let me know. Otherwise, we're in our root. It's April. We're in the root. The root chakra is located on your pelvic floor. If you are sitting on your seat right now, you're sitting on your root chakra. If you were to sit on your foot, you'd be putting pressure on your root chakra. So that's the location for the root chakra, and generally that's kind of the entire lower area of the pelvic. Once you move up into the upper part below the belly button, close to the belly button, you start to get into the sacral chakra. So the root chakra is really your seat. Charles, you're a martial artist. No idea what a chakra is. That's okay. Come on in. Enjoy. I was a martial artist. I guess you maybe are forever. I don't know. I did Taekwondo. I was in Taekwondo for like 5, 6 years. Used to compete and things like that. But that was when I was a teenager, though. That actually helped a lot with my root chakra. It helps a lot with my root chakra, and it helped a lot with my solar plexus chakra. And we can talk about those things as we move forward. So the root chakra is called the Muladhara in Sanskrit, and it represents really our physical safety, right? It develops for the first 6 months of life. So for the first 6 months of life, when I say develops, I mean what I really mean is settles. I need to shift my wording there. Our root chakra settles during the first 6 months of life. Whatever happens during the first 6 months of life, when we look at child development, we're looking at the social emotional development of trust versus mistrust. It is a very basic foundational, it's literally your root, right? It's your foundation. It's what you're going to build everything else on top of. And yes, how that root chakra settles is going to influence every other chakra on top of it. So your brain is not even completely online yet, right? The first 6 months of life, your eyes have not developed fully yet. Your concept of time doesn't exist. Your even concept of permanence, objects that exist outside of your field of awareness, that doesn't exist yet, right? Those first 6 months of life, or you develop it during those first 6 months. So those first 6 months of life, your consciousness is pretty much this kind of open, receptive sort of energy or space that you're in, right? So what's the most basic question when we arrive in any space, any room, when we show up? Am I safe? Am I okay to be here? Right? Is it all right for me to have shown up, to manifest in this body, in this reality I'm in? I just need to know if I'm safe or not. That's the first question. And in social, like I said, Erik Erikson's stages of social emotional development, this is the stage for trust versus mistrust. So during those first 6 months, you don't even have to have some like crazy trauma. You don't have to have some like laundry list of things that went wrong, right? You just need whatever kind of experience that might have given you the message that you weren't safe. And for some of us, that could mean, right? Remember, as infants, we have no concept of time and we have no concept of object permanence. So unfortunately, things like the cry it out method that has been recommended for a couple generations now is traumatic to the root chakra. Because the root chakra, without the concept that objects exist outside of my field of awareness, and without a concept to track time, to pay attention to time, when I am left in a room as an infant on my own, I cannot conceive, once you leave, I cannot conceive that you still exist, and I cannot conceive that you're coming back. And once you do come back, it doesn't matter how long you've been gone, because I live in a perpetual permanent now. Infants don't have, oh, what happened 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago? We're not paying much attention to it. Our brain has nothing to anchor memories really onto. Now, if we have big traumatic things happen, if there are big scary events, yes, sometimes this can anchor into the mind and we can remember things that early. Why? Because we're humans trying to stay safe. We're animals trying to stay safe, right? Just making sure I don't miss any comments here. Mercedes, trust in the Lord, not in your fellow human being. Love thy neighbor, actually. We operate from love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor because it's your fellow human being that is an expression of the Lord and of Christ. And so we love our neighbors and we love Christ and our Lord through our neighbors and through each other. And I encourage you to invite that kind of heart-held space when you're in here. I invite everybody here to show up with curiosity and willingness, and ask questions if you have them. Feel free to explore the intersection between what's it called? Energy and religion. Just for those of you who are new here, hello. My name is Reverend Deborah. I'm an interfaith minister, a movement facilitator, and dubbed here by TikTok, your shenanigan shaman. So thank you guys. I have been a reverend for more than 10 years now. I think this is year 11 now. And when I was a little girl, I grew up Catholic and I wanted to be a nun. The way I came to this understanding, this information, and bridge the gap between what I learned later on in life and what I knew and understood early on in life and what I experienced along the way, was by interconnecting, by bringing together the understandings that I felt, that I gleaned in religion and took with me into spirituality. Because religion tried to keep me from truths outside of it. Right? It says this is a box and this is the only box and everything inside of this box is true. Anything outside of this box is wrong. Do not look outside the box. And that, as a human, as a naturally curious human, is the antithesis of what we are intended to do. We are here to, and my understanding, we are here to explore. You are welcome to have your own understanding. I'm not going to be arguing with you whether or not this information is valid. This information has been around even longer than Christ himself. We have records of energy work and the Vedic sciences way back to 1500 BC. And there's information that Yeshua himself may have even studied these kinds of things. So I encourage you to do your research and dig deeper into the concepts if you really want to go into the intersection between the Vedic sciences, yogic philosophy, Ayurveda, and the teachings of Christ consciousness, and love, heart-centered, God being a part of us, resonating within us, and Christ consciousness being a state of being, a state of enlightenment that we can reach. Rabbit holes, Charles, they're all rabbit holes. That's the beauty of being a foxy human. We get to go down rabbit holes. The connections are stronger than many want to admit. The connections are stronger than many want to admit, because the systems are used instead for a means of control. These are systems that give you freedom. These are systems that teach you about your free will and how to use it, and how to use it wisely. Other systems that don't allow you to use curiosity and seek outside of their boxes are systems that seek to control you. It's just nice and simple. If there are boundaries put up that tell you you can't look outside the box, and if you do, you're bad, then it's a means of control. It's as simple as that. So that's why we're not going to argue it. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, everyone, for the love. So let's talk about the root chakra. And in fact, if you want to really dive deeper with me on religion and spirituality and the intersection between those and Vedic sciences and things like that, comment on my content. Make me a video and tag me in it. We'll start a conversation. But this live or this space, I want to do a lot more teaching about the chakra itself and about what it means to have imbalances in these chakras, how to align them, how to heal them, how to treat them, and what it means for your other chakras and what it means for other parts of your life, right? So the question of the root chakra is, am I safe, right? Now imagine if, like I said before, let's use the cry it out method as an example, because it's not technically something that we look at as traumatic. It's something that we consider as a parenting tool, right? But the trauma that it can cause, because the child is unable to perceive that you exist outside of the room, that you're going to come back, right? This can cause the root chakra to misalign. It can cause the root chakra, because the root chakra says, because the expectation as a human is that the way to keep the infant safe is to be close to caregivers, right? For those 9 months of development, you are literally in this beautiful little capsule held there to develop and have all of your needs met and have it in this nice, safe space, right? And things may occur in utero that influence your root chakra too. If there's trauma in utero, it can cause your root chakra to go, uh-oh, the outside world doesn't feel very safe. If mother has a lot of anxiety or a lot of fear or a lot of trauma in her root chakra, that will influence the child. Because why? Because the child's energy body is trying to figure out how to keep you safe. And I really want to stress this point. You'll hear me stress it over and over and over again. Your energy body has been working your whole life to keep you safe. Yes, that's how your ego developed. Yes, that's how your triggers developed. Yes, that's how your short temper or whatever narcissist, I can't say those words here either. These things develop. Your personality develops based on the information that your chakras receive while you're growing up. Just like your body, just like your brain, just like your respiratory system and your nervous system and your emotion, right? All of these pieces develop together. The chakras are not separate from them. In fact, they are the basis for them, right? These are how these things connect, how these things develop. And this was my favorite insight of learning about the chakras, as well as going to college and studying. I went to college for 12 plus years and then did a bunch of certification programs to connect these things together. So this is my favorite topic. So the root chakra, am I safe? If during those first 6 months of life, let's say my parents got which my mother did, okay, we'll use this as a personal example. Let's not even use a hyperbole. When I was an infant, my mother read Dr. Sears and was told that cry it out is the way to do it, right? And she told me that for her, it was really difficult too. She said she would leave me in the crib, in the room, and she would sit outside the door. And she said, I would just cry and cry and cry along with you because it felt so wrong. But I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Beth, I've worked with my daughter who is 10 to focus on these things I may have missed and build. Nice. And that's important, right? We're not perfect. I want to make sure that also, side note, right, or important point here, when we talk about these things, this information is not intended to induce shame or guilt. I am not here to point fingers or to blame anyone, and I invite you to not do the same to yourself. We are always doing the best with the information we have at the time. That's why I'm here sharing the information, and that's why you're here receiving the information. So we can all move forward without falling backward, right? We don't need to fall back on ourselves. We don't need to crumble down. Thank you, friend. We don't need to guilt and shame ourselves, because that's not going to help us move forward. That's not going to help us expand and grow. It's a stepping stone. Ooh, I feel that. That's not what I really intended. So what do I do with that information and how do I move forward, right? Yay! The positive way of learning and growing, and that's how we do it, right? So, root chakra, Muladhara. The root chakra rules our sense of trust versus mistrust. If those things happen that cause us to feel unsafe in our body. Hey, Serenity. If there are things that make us feel unsafe during those first 6 months of life, then what happens, right? How does that manifest into ego? How does that manifest into personality characters? How does our energy deal with that to keep us safe? Thank you, my energy body, for trying to keep me safe. Even though you're kind of immature and not really great at like keeping me safe in the wisest ways, right? Because my energy body is just operating with the information it has. So what that energy does is going to pull up. It's going to reach up. Yes, Curtis, I did intentionally wear red. I tried to find red, but I don't have a lot of red because my root chakra is still something I'm working on. So that energy pulls up. For me, I was left to cry it out. And I also had other traumatic events, actual event things, which we're not going to talk the stories at this moment about them. But when those things occur, the energy says, we have to try to do something about it, right? I can't just leave it like this. I'm not safe. Again, acknowledge that this is my energy body while my brain is not even fully developed. While I'm pretty much unconscious, right? Just an open ball of consciousness. My energy has the wisdom to say, uh-oh, we're not safe right now. Alone in a room in the dark, crying, alone in a room in the dark. So what do? We cry out. Where's that coming from? That moves up into the sacral chakra. Because the sacral chakra is our place of nourishment. It's the place where we first ask, where we first reach for, will somebody hold me? Will somebody take care of me? Can somebody meet my needs? I'm hungry. Will you feed me? I'm thirsty. I'm cold. These kinds of things. That's where we get that energy from. And we'll talk about the sacral chakra next month. And it's almost here. We're almost to next month, so we can talk about it soon. But right now, in that root chakra, when we feel unsafe, the energy will start to move up a little bit. And if we continuously feel unsafe, our root chakra will eventually manifest as a relatively, I want to be careful with my words, but as a relatively weak point of energy. It's not going to be very deeply rooted into our body. It can cause disassociation from the body. It can cause us to progressively move our energy up out of our bodies and not even pay attention to it. The root chakra rules elimination. It's your physical body, right? It rules just like the skin, the hair, like all sorts of, the whole body itself, the whole body, and being rooted and safe in the body itself. Less used maybe, but it's more like you are a container with your energy. Thank you guys for the follows and the likes. Thank you so much. You are a container with your energy. That energy is fueled by source energy. Every cell, everything that you are made up of is vibrating with a frequency. That frequency is source. That frequency is universal flow, universal life force. It moves through everything in the entire universe. That vibration manifests this creation of you. The heartbeat that you have here, you know what that heart is for? No, it's not just a muscle that pumps blood through your body. This is made up of something called defibrillator cells. Those defibrillator cells are what make your heart go boom, 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 boom. Without that beat, there is no you, right? That heartbeat, those defibrillator cells, actually manifest the toroidal field of energy that exists around your whole being. It's an energy generator. And you can go way deeper too into other things that it does, but it's this energy generator, right? So your heart generates a finite field of energy based on that heartbeat, based on your lifespan, right? Based on your experience, and how it manifests in your body is going to be directly related to those experiences you have and how your energy learns to exist in this lifetime. Badass Blind Woman, if you have an imbalance in the root chakra, will it affect all the rest of the chakras? Yes and no. It can. There's a possibility of it. But just because you have trauma in the root chakra does not mean that every other chakra is going to be out of balance, right? But it will influence all the other chakras. This is an integrated system, right? So you have a limited amount of energy that is generated by your heartbeat. So now imagine that a balanced, healthy chakra system is approximately an equal fluctuating amount in each of these chakras, right? A balance of energy, a nice wide field, nice balance, not too big, not too small kind of chakras, and chakras that are flexible. Energy moves. Good morning, Juliana. Energy moves around us and is constantly moving up, down, in, out, all around, right? We have all these different vayus. So that root chakra, when I'm born, right? I'm this big ball of energy, and my root chakra is trying to figure out, can we connect into the body? Can I root into this earth? Am I safe to be here? Is it okay that I was born? Is it okay that I have a body? Am I safe to bring spirit, consciousness, into my body? Imagine if an infant has maybe more physical trauma, right? That's not expected for safety for a human. So if that infant experiences physical trauma, especially repetitive physical trauma, or repetitive fear of physical trauma, what do you do if you were to go like this to a baby? What happens? It has a fear response because the first thing is whether or not I'm safe in this lifetime. And if there's too much of that response to the child, or a prolonged sense of or actual physical pain, especially I'm trying not to diverge. We're still okay. If there's such physical traumas, then the energy body, the root chakra, will say, uh-oh, this isn't really safe. I have to do something about it. So we will repurpose the energy. And again, it can go right into the sacral. And maybe you might find that you get all of your needs met in the sacral chakra. And that's super successful to you. And you don't need to really keep redistributing your energy. And you may be able to build a good foundation for the other chakras on that. But you may still struggle with being fully present in your body. Or you may still struggle with feeling safe in the world. You may feel like there is constantly just kind of the shadowy fear somewhere in the background, way, way, way deep back there, where you're like, I don't really know what it is. There's just like something following me all the time. I like to talk about our inner demons, right? Or our as these things that manifest through our energy system, right? They manifest as the reminder of whether or not we are, or how to bring ourselves back into balance. I might have to shift the time of these classes, guys, because 10 a.m. on Saturday is not my jam anymore. Charles, yes, SA is a really good example of one way. Circumcision is another way that we traumatize the root chakra. Cry it out method is another way that we traumatize the root chakra. Honestly, leaving our babies in strollers and car seats and not holding them. That's a huge part of the root chakra. The root chakra, again, says, am I safe? And where's the safest place to be as an infant, but attached to a caregiver, close to a caregiver. And that is an animal expectation. That is a basic, like, if our brains aren't completely online, right? Like, our body is still like, I have to keep myself safe, and I do it by staying close to other humans. That's instinct, right? Survival instinct. And that's what our root chakra is about. And if you end up with those imbalances in the root chakra, then you're going to end up struggling with your survival instinct, because your body's going to constantly be looking for more of the same thing. Why does the brain focus so much? Thank you, friend. Why does the brain focus so much on the negative stuff? Because that's the stuff that's unsafe, right? And it's trying to just keep it safe. So it's not like your brain is looking for bad things to hurt you. It is looking for bad things, but it's not looking for bad things to hurt you. It's looking for bad things to keep you safe. Your energy body, that fear, those imaginary tigers, right? I call them, my pirates, who are back here going, are you sure the other shoe's not going to fall? This can result in things like hypervigilance, right? Hypervigilance, where I have senses turned up to volume 10,000 all the time so that I can perceive a potential threat that's coming into a situation. Because for me, my first 6 months of life were very traumatic, very tumultuous, and very unsafe. So very quickly, my energy moved up from the root chakra into my other chakras to get my needs met and to keep me safe. And that manifested as fear, as anxiety. It also manifested as arrogance. It also manifested as highly, I went right into spiritual stuff really, really, really quickly, because it was much safer for my energy to stay up here in the ethereal or in the spiritual or in the imaginary than it was to be in my own body. And I know that folks can relate to that one here. Faithful being, do I think that the brain creates the self-fulfilling prophecy? Okay, really great question. I should grab a pen and paper so I can keep track of some of these questions. I'm going to pin you here. I got multiple questions here, so hold on, guys. All right. Do I think the brain creates the self-fulfilling prophecy? Yes and no. Why does the brain create the pattern that keeps us patterning through the thing? Why does my fear keep being aggravated? Why do I keep perceiving unsafe and experiencing scary or unsafe situations in my life? Is it because my energy body's messed up, my ego is attacking me, my emotions are out to get me, my body's just screwed and it'll never, ever heal? No. Self-fulfilling prophecy, right, can be turned over on its head to say, this is how your body, your energy body, is begging you to heal. The universe, if I'm imbalanced, the best place for my energy body to be, my whole system wants to be aligned and balanced and whole. And it is working toward that. Just like the Fibonacci sequence. Everything in the universe is on this Fibonacci sequence, right? So you are too. You're not just circling in one little spot. But if there's an imbalance in your energy doesn't like to be imbalanced. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel safe. It's not normal to be out of balance. It's a fish out of water. And so it's going to constantly be trying to get back to center. It's like water getting back to the ocean. It's going to constantly be trying to get back to balance. And so self-fulfilling prophecy, when it keeps coming up in your life over and over, these repeating patterns, the patterns be patterning so hard, it is actually your energy body supporting you in finding your healing. It is opportunity again and again and again and again for you to repurpose that energy in a way that does keep you safe. For you to engage fully in your body if you've been out of your body, right? Yes, that may mean you bump and bruise yourself a whole bunch more and you're like, I'm so clumsy. I'm so clumsy because I'm not completely aware in my body and because I don't feel safe to be in my body. So my body's bumping all over the place because the universe is like, hey, hi, you still have a body. Can you come back to the body? Because we'd like to balance out now. So I want to be mindful, really mindful, that we change the narrative that says my body's out to get me, my brain is messing with me, my ego is my enemy. None of that. Your entire system, energy, is always flowing through the path of least resistance to bring you to your highest good in every moment. And for me, as a retired Catholic and as a non-denominational reverend, that is source. That is God. That is Christ leading us home. That is our salvation, is to follow that and to reconcile those imbalances. All right, Mistel. Sorry, guys. I'm like 17, 18 messages behind. I just had a couple of questions here I wanted to answer. You asked, how can that be healed in the adult and the child? I'm going to pin you here. How can it be healed in the adult and the child? So there are so many ways to address the root chakra, to heal the root chakra. Some are very simple, some are very complicated. I always encourage you to start with the simplest stuff because there's no reason to complicate things. There are people out there who will sell you super expensive, super complicated, super advanced ways to heal your chakras and align your stuff and balance your energy. And you can totally enjoy those things. I used to go for those too because I was out of balance and I thought I needed some really heavy hitting sort of energy to help balance me out. And hey, you know what? It helped. So go ahead and go do those. Also, I do offer coaching. So if you want to work on them in a different way, you can come find me on patreon.com/move with change, or you can send me a message about it. I do also have subscriptions here on TikTok, but go to Patreon. That's the best place to be. Thank you, friend. And I have several levels of coaching from our group coaching membership, which is our CAYA Kinship Circle, to I even have something called the CAYA Intensive, and it's a 40-day intensive coaching session where package thing, I guess, where we meet every single day. We are working on this every single day. So we are going to get into the actual tools for how to heal and align, balance the root chakra, being balanced to the root chakra. I have mudras, I have asanas, I have mantras, I have pranayama, I have all sorts of stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the root chakra, what it looks like to be imbalanced, and how the energy body works. I feel like a lot of times on these classes, I kind of have to go over the whole energy body and how it functions first, so that then we can talk about the initial chakras. All right, I'm now 42 messages behind. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Why doesn't it balance on its own? Hi, guys. I'm just catching up here. Why isn't it balanced on its own? I want to, in terms of how our energy body balances, okay, let me use an example from Ayurveda. Thank you guys so much for the gifts, so much for the follows, so much for the love. Please go follow me on Patreon as well. TikTok is unreliable. We are on YouTube, so if you want a consistent feed, you can find me there. All right, so let's talk about this concept of balance in Ayurveda. When we are centered and balanced, right? It is a beautiful center, or it's a relaxed state of being. is an expansive, open, relaxed state of being. Imagine when you are standing on one foot and trying to find balance. When you're out of balance, what's happening? Every little muscle in your body is like trying to adjust to get you back to balance, right? You feel, there's even like a whole section of workouts that you can do just by balancing because of how much it engages your body, all the muscles in your body, right? So when that's happened, it's easy to stay in balance. When we are a little bit out of balance, okay, I can right myself. That's generally something I can get back up, and it's pretty easy to right myself. I feel sad, I have a good cry about it, maybe a little chocolate, go for a run, and hey, that's really nice. But then we deal with something like depression, which is not just feeling sad, but feeling so far down that it's difficult to bring us back up again. So we understand in Ayurveda that there's this kind of tipping point, right? I might be in balance now, but if, for example, I eat spicy food and it's not good for my energy body, for my dosha. So I'm eating spicy food and I eat a little bit of spicy food. I eat a little bit of spicy food. I eat a little bit of spicy food. Maybe I eat a lot more spicy food. And now I start to crave spicy food. There's a certain point at which, let's use sugar, right? Sugar is not good for our body. A little bit of sugar, it's okay. My body can process it and I'll come back to center. Sugar. Oh shit. Now I feel like I can't survive without sugar. I crave sugar. And it might even seem like I need sugar, right? It's because I'm so far out of balance and my body cannot right itself. There's that tipping point that gravity took over and the imbalance is heavier, stronger than balance. So when this happens, that is when we start to do, avoid. Say what you mean what you say what you mean when you speak. That's my philosophy, and so sometimes I pause to align my words. So when we're this far out, right, we can start doing practices, mudras, mantras, asanas, changing our diet, right? But sometimes when we're down here, the first thing to do is not to say, sugar is bad. Yes, it is, Jello. Sugar is terrible. I should just cut it out. I won't do it anymore. Have you tried this? Have you tried to be full breath, face planted in a sugar, craze and then said, okay, I quit? Tell me how easy that is. Anybody successfully done it? Because I didn't. It was really, really hard. I couldn't do it because we need support first. Because we need support to break that seemingly gravitational pull of it. And we do this by things like detoxing, by using tools like mudras or wearing different colors or changing our environment. There are so many ways that you can help bring yourself back to balance. Bill, but ice cream. I don't feel you there, my friend. Ice cream is not my favorite sweet thing. Maple is. I have a maple thing. I put it in my tea. I put it in my coffee every day. Nice, Glitterbee. No sugar sweetener since Ash Wednesday. Nicely done. Okay. The reason I love the energy body as a whole is because what we look at when we say, oh, I eat too much sugar, right? And I deal with depression, and I have hypervigilance, and I don't feel safe in my body. And we have this nice little package of these things that we deal with. And we look at them and go, oh, how do I heal these things? How do I fix these things? Because, oh my gosh, they're not doing really good for my life right now. And we might think of dealing with them like this directly because they're right here in front of us. I see the symptom. I see the result, the consequence of my imbalance. Now, if I'm Western minded, I'm probably going to think that the best thing to do is to address the things in my hand, is to try to quit the sugar, is to try to treat my depression, is to try to attack anxiety, right? Or cut off my ego, whatever it's called, amputate the ego. I'm going to try to do those things. But that is very hammer and nail, material world. If you're going to build muscle, you got to go to the gym and lift weights. That is not how we address the energy body. The energy body is ethereal. The energy body is light and movement and air. And you don't fix air with a hammer and a nail and a screwdriver, right? So with the energy body, we invite balance from the inside. When we start to balance our energy body within ourselves, because our energy body is so much more malleable. Our energy body fluctuates and changes all the time. You know that your energy body breathes. Your solar and lunar, yin and yang energy in your body breathes about every 45 minutes. You have a big, long breath of yin and yang, of solar and lunar energy. If you want to chart your energy body, go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/move with change. Go look in the shop, and there is an inner light map. It's a PDF that you can download for just $5, and it'll help you keep track of these things every day, of how your energy manifests each day, and keep track of the shifts in them. So go to Patreon and go find that if you'd like it. All right. So with energy, we invite balance. What does that look like? That looks like showing up with curiosity and willingness. That looks like using practices that are, I was going to say passive, but there's a passive nature to them and there's an active nature to them. So for example, root chakra resonates the color red. It's not arbitrarily red. Someone didn't just decide to call it red. There's a frequency that your root chakra emits. Remember, it's energy, and this energy actually emits light, and that light frequency matches the frequency of red. Same with the tones or the sounds that go along with the root chakra. They are akin to the frequency of red, right? We can chart these things. Your favorite color, Big Bang Hank? Not my favorite color. So someone who has a favorite color of red, right? That is a root chakra. That is a positive for your root chakra. It can be, right? If your root chakra is so big, maybe moving your energy up into the higher chakras was difficult. Maybe it was scary or painful to do that. Maybe you were shunned or shut down when you try to move your energy up. So some of us can actually keep our energy down in our root and never really pull it up to like the heart and the throat and the third eye and things like that, right? And that may manifest as somebody who's like all red all the time. There are so many different aspects to look at the chakras with, but knowing that, I always joke about, right, the colors themselves. The easiest way to treat your chakras is to wear the different colors. The easiest way to remember what colors the chakras are, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you real quick. You guys know the Roy G. Biv for the colors of the rainbow? Red, orange, yellow, Roy G, green, BIV, blue, indigo, and violet. Roy G. Biv. That starts from your root chakra at Roy. Remember root, red, Roy, yeah. Red is the root. Orange is the sacral. Yellow is the solar. Green is the heart. Blue is the throat. Indigo is or purple is the third eye. And then violet or light purple to white is the crown. So easy way to remember. They go same direction, same order as the rainbow from the root up. So if you want to bring balance to your chakras, go look at your closet. Go look at your closet. In fact, if you're home right now, go look at your closet and tell me what's the color you have most of in there and what's the color you have the least of in there. That's going to tell you which of your chakras has the most energy coming out or the chakra that you feel most comfortable in. And it's going to tell you which chakra you really don't feel very comfortable in. Everything's black. Purple orbs while meditating. Nice. Big Bang Hank. You've got a nice third eye channel. Clear third eye channel. Beth, red is pretty. I like red on other people, but for me, wearing red is very unsafe. I like red, but it's very unsafe. Beth, no blue. Jessica, turquoise. Black. Green and yellow. No pink. Ooh, no pink. Bill. I have I didn't wear pink for a long time, and pink is one of those that I'm trying to open up to, because pink is a softer version of the root chakra, right? And culturally, we perceive it as a very feminine color. Our root chakra is a yin energy, is a feminine energy, and so pink is actually a really nice balancing and soothing to the root chakra color. But again, for me, it was very unsafe to be soft in my root, to be feminine in my root, right? Casey, your dad looks great in pink. Higher heart too, yes, Sparkle. Higher heart as well. We do also have minor chakras, and just today I'm talking about, I'm trying to stay centered on the root chakra today. We do have a whole system of minor chakras. We have like armpit chakras, chin chakra, nose chakra, ear chakras. We have hip chakras. We have knee chakras. We talked about some of those in March, and we will talk about more of those in November. Yes?
How much longer is on your life?
It's going to be a while.
Like how many?
Just a little bit. Why don't you get breakfast until...
What time is it?
It's 11 o'clock.
Oh.
And we were talking about going down to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yes, you need food first.
Well, this is for when we get off.
Okay. Te amo. Oh, that's okay, Sparkle. No. Feel free, right? Because I end up... You can't talk about the chakra system without talking about all the chakras, right? And staying focused on one is really difficult. All black. Okay. There we go. So remember, everybody, this is a CAYA space. CAYA stands for Come As You Are, and we encourage you to show up authentically, as well as to respect and value that other people's opinions are valid and other people's experiences are valid as well. And we do not come in with condemnation or judgment. If you cannot personally manage yourself well enough not to show up without condemnation and judgment, then we're just going to mute you. If you are particularly condescending or judgmental, then I'm just going to block you, because I don't have to deal with that. What does wearing a red cape do? It helps me feel like a superhero. It helps me feel like a superhero, because I struggle with my root chakra. Like I said, in those early years, my experiences with my root chakra basically were again and again and again to receive the message that you are not safe. You are not safe. You are not safe. So my energy body, it's part of the reason in looking back and in doing my own work, it's part of the reason I probably had really intense spiritual experiences as well, because I was trying to pull myself up out of my body. I was trying to reach for these higher places. And instead, I ended up with out-of-body experiences. I mean, I guess not instead. I ended up with out-of-body experiences. I ended up standing with angels beside me, or some energy beside me, while really traumatic, scary, dangerous things were happening to my physical body, right? I had experiences where I've had conversations with Christ as a young child, had past life regression things come back as a young child, because again, just the events caused my energy to push out, to move out, to get out of my body, instead of to ground in my body and say, I can relax into being a human. It's great. My energy was like, oh, hell no. Destiny, trying to pass the baton to you on Zen, but I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do that, Destiny. Capes in general are very what's it called? Fantasy-like. Big Bang Hank. What age did I start learning all of this? So so I received my family's lineage of energy work actually by the age of 7. Before that, I had very visceral experiences. I have very, very early memories. Again, when really dangerous or really difficult things, painful things happen in childhood in very early years, it still can anchor in as memory, even though we don't have a lot of capacity for memory. The reason that happens is because the body is trying to keep me safe. The brain is trying to keep us safe. So those earliest memories being scary and whatnot, and why we say, I don't remember the early stuff that's nice and good. Well, you didn't really need to, because it was safe and felt fine. The big, scary, dangerous stuff will anchor in to teach you, look out for this, right? So it wasn't until I started having the past life regression that I spoke to my mom about it, about the things I was experiencing, and I started really kind of telling her, like, I feel things, I see things, and so she started teaching me the energy work, the lineage of energy work that she received from the women in her family. My mother's side of the family is from Appalachia and has been in the Appalachians since the settlers first came over. Irish and I think Irish and Dutch lineage or something like that came over way, way early and have been there. Witches in the woods kind of people. So I started studying energy work as a kid. And that actually induced some spiritual experiences, out of body experiences that I remember having I remember being pulled out of my body and held outside of my body. I remember being spoken to. I remember being shown certain things about situations that I was in. And then I went to college to study human development and wellness, because what I felt and what I perceived was, Ashley, you said Liz is trying to connect with me. What does that mean? Where am I supposed to see Liz trying to connect with me? Um, yes, I know that it's for Zen, guys. I just don't know what you mean, like she's trying to connect with me. Is it, where are you trying to connect? Is it through a message, or supposed to co-host Pass the Baton? Oh, I apologize. I completely misunderstood it. I don't have my co-host turned off, no. Yeah, it's on. Sorry, I'm new to the whole Pass the Baton 24-hour marathon. I signed up because I hoped that it would help, but um, so I went to college to study human development and wellness, and I ended up staying in college for 12 years because what I was perceiving as a child, I wanted to go and confirm, right? I wanted to go confirm so that I could understand and connect these dots. So when we talk about how linking these things between spirituality and energy and human development and wellness and Western modalities and things like that, that's my life work. That's what I've been doing this whole time. That's what I went to college for. And then I went and studied further, right? I went to college for human development and wellness, studied human development and wellness across the lifespan for 12 years. And then on top of that, became a yoga teacher, an herbalist, a reverend, and a variety of other things, other certification programs, a death midwife, a child care specialist, and things like that. Because what I was learning in school and connecting to the energy body and the way that our energy builds, this has been a lifelong study for me. And I think the best part was really being able to tie the knots between these things, right? So that now I can offer this cool stuff to you guys. Ashley, I'd love to. You're saying pass the baton, pass the co-host. I'm right here. I'm on. I don't see an invite. Co-host with creators is turned on. I don't know what else to do, you guys. I see you in the comments telling me that she's trying to pass me the baton. I don't know how else to address it. Because if they're supposed to go co-host with me, co-host is on. Is she not able to co-host? Is Liz in the chat here? Because I don't know if I've even seen Liz say, hey, I'm trying to co-host. I haven't seen an invite. I haven't seen an ask. So Big Bang Hank, is that what witchcraft was in the past? I don't want to get too sidetracked on witchcraft, but essentially, yeah, it's knowing how to work with the energies beyond the what we perceive in the physical reality, right? Magic or medicine and these sorts of things is shamanism. These sorts of things were the understanding of the interconnectedness between what we perceive, what we can feel and sense, and what we can see with our eyes and touch with our hands. That the material world is not the only existence of the world, not the only iteration of the world. And what's interesting to me is over time, we seem to have devolved in our understanding of reality in certain cultures where we only believe that if we can touch it, feel it, taste it, then it exists. But if it's not of the five senses, then it must not exist, which is an interesting development in our collective evolution, right? To see us go from profound understanding of all of these things to ultimately it was religion that said, no, 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 you can't have a direct connection with source. You don't have a direct connection with source. We're going to cut that off from you. And we're going to tell you that you have to go through the priest, you have to go through the church, you have to go through the institution so that you can connect to source. It was one of the biggest, probably most grave misdirections in humanity's history, in humanity's current history. I like to talk about it as if we have been collectively placed against a wall. We've been placed against a wall and we've been told that you have to put your nose to the wall to support that wall. And there's a brick cut out right here. And you're looking through that wall and then the culture or religion will tell you that everything you want and need is on the other side of that wall. But you can't get there unless you do what we say. That, again, is control. And in my lifetime of exploring this stuff and the connection between the physical reality, the ethereal reality, source, and practical real world stuff, is that you are intimately intertwined. And the only way to your full self-actualization, which is what you're intended to be here for, is through your personal experience with source, your personal experience with the material world, with the ethereal world, with your physical self, with your mental self, with your emotional self. All of these things are pieces that come together. They are not separate. They are not broken. They are not isolated from each other. One affects the other. So that's why tools to work with the energy body can be so, so powerful, because instead of treating the external system, instead of treating the rot that's on the leaf of the tree, we're going down inside of the tree and we're sitting with the roots, right? We're finding the vibration that the tree, we're feeling into the air, we're feeling into the water, we're feeling into the very nature itself, right? The entire universe, how the entire universe supports the tree. So, I feel like I missed a message here. Badass Mind Woman, I'm sorry I missed you. You asked mostly black. What does that mean? So everybody were talking about their colors in their closets, right? And I heard a lot of people say black. Thank you for bringing me back to that. A lot of people say black. So black, it does not mean that your chakras are just shut down. But oftentimes black is a way that we hide our truth. Hide who we truly are, hide how our energy truly manifests, and that can be a reactive thing to a culture, to a world that doesn't support or celebrate our uniqueness. Instead, we live in this Western culture that says, no, 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 you're supposed to fit into a box and you're supposed to fall in line and you're supposed to follow orders and you're supposed to put your nose on the wall and hold this fucking wall up for us, excuse me. Otherwise, you're bad and wrong. So, we may take on something that cloaks us. Black. Black hides all the colors. All the colors can exist inside of black, right? They are all there in the dark when the light is off. But yeah. Oh. Joey, thank you. Somebody just mentioned, okay, so Joey, you asked, I hope you're still here. Sorry for jumping around, guys. If someone can't stop hearing voices and they torture them, should they try befriending them? So I want to be very mindful that there are, right, mental illness is still very much connected to the energy body. We can both induce mental illness and we can treat mental illness through energy, through chakras, through the energy body. Please make sure that you are seeking the support and the help that you need, right? If you want to do coaching with me, come do coaching with me. If you want to go seek a psychologist, go seek a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a doctor, whatever it works for you, or another shaman. Please make sure that if you are experiencing something very intense that is making you scared or uncomfortable, that you do seek help, and you do seek help quickly, immediately, to go find help, right? Don't sit there and fester in this place of suffering, because that's just how we perpetuate it. And a lot of times when we're experiencing something inside of ourselves, the best thing we can do is expose it to someone else, is to show it and say, is this thing real? Because we end up becoming an echo chamber. So that said, there is a concept called internal family systems that has been profoundly supportive for me on my journey. I thought I created it because I'm a storyteller, and so I made up these kind of characters for these different aspects of my ego, for these different aspects of my emotions. And then those would show up for me if I went to a job interview. I would show up as this particular character because I knew that she could handle the questions and propose and like sit properly and like show up for that. That's a different person that I would show up for drinks with my friends and going karaoke, right? She doesn't go to the bar and whatnot. She's not that girl. So those are different characters. And if we use internal family systems and we give names and characters to the different kind of responses and parts of ourselves, we can use that as a tool to integrate our family, our internal family, and build a better relationship with ourselves. And that is very powerful. Some of those voices, some of those energies, some of our ego manifestations or our emotions or our past experiences can manifest as very negative sensation, very negative feeling, very frustrating, very scary internal voices. I like to consider these, our internal demons, usually are a manifestation of imbalances in our energy, imbalances in our chakras. Joey, you already see an internal family system psychologist. Yay! Awesome. It is such powerful work. And for anybody else who's interested in it, I talk a lot more about it because it's something that was really impactful for me. You'll hear me talk about my pirates often, and that's what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the different aspects of self that I've manifested into, or I've given names and characters to. What does this do? Just as a side note, why is this so powerful? Because if I say, I am angry, I am is a statement that we use, especially in meditation or in these mindfulness practices, right? I am is a proclamation. It's a permanent, it's a perpetual. I exist. I am here. There is no beginning and end to that. I am. I am angry. Anger is what I am. I am it. It exists. I am, like, I'm not separate from it, right? Now, for me, I created the character, right? So now when anger arises, it's more like my protector, right? Who shows up and says, what did they do? What do they say to you? Anxiety is my good friend who has a lot of fear that she harbors, right? And when we go to the grocery store, sometimes anxiety comes with me. And she says, are you really sure we should go in there? I don't know if we should go in there. It seems kind of scary. Can we just go home instead? Now, if I'm saying I am anxious, I am that anxiety, then there's no separation. It exists within me. It's flowing through me. It's pulsing through my mind and my brain or my veins, and like I can't get out of it. I can't get away from it, right? This can be more consuming. Versus if I see it as something else, then I can turn to that part of me and say, "Hey, anxiety, can I help? What do you need right now? What's going on? What are you afraid of?" But what if somebody just looks at us funny? What if somebody something? What if I do this? Then I can also negotiate with that part of me. Anger, road rage, right? I'm on the road driving somewhere and somebody cuts me off and puts me, I have to slam on my brakes like we almost got in an accident. My defender is going to come up and say, hey, we're trying to drive here. But that defender in the past, without a good relationship, without me having a relationship with that part of me, that defender grabs the wheel and slams on the horn or speeds up and tailgates the person or throws the bird and starts screaming. You know that experience where that part of you suddenly erupts out of you and takes the helm. It takes the steering wheel and drives your ship into chaos or into a fight or and you go, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I got there. How did that happen? I was beside myself. It was outside of me. I couldn't control myself, right? Really? Or do you just not have a relationship, a quality relationship enough to negotiate with yourself? And most of us don't. That's not, again, not shame inducing. I'm not pointing fingers and saying, you're not healed. I am still working on it. And I've been doing this for a long time. And hey, Tiziana, how are you? You say self-control is important. Self-control is important, but I want to step away again from the term control because it's not about doing this. If I try to grasp my anger, if I try to grasp addiction or anxiety, I can't hold that thing. I can't maintain or bottle that thing up. And if I try, because we try to control it and bottle it up, where does it go? It goes poof, at a totally unexpected moment when it was really not necessary, right? Because your emotions are a lot like gas. Your reactivity is a lot like having a fart, okay? It's a lot like having a belch. There's something out of balance in your body and it manifests as an expression. If we swallow it back down or hold it back in, it will just keep festering. Your body is not intended to hold these finite things, these temporary things, these temporal things. Anger rises and falls. Breath rises and falls. Your heartbeat rises and falls. Everything in your entire system, your life itself, rises and falls. Your system is a finite system. So when things occur in your system, they are meant to be expressed and released. Otherwise, they turn into those patterns that get patterning, and then they happen again and again and again. And every time we say, no, we don't want anybody to smell my fart. I don't have anger. No, I'm not dealing with anxiety. No, I'm not sad. No. And then we trap our partner in the car and roll the windows up and lock the doors and fart in the whole space while we're screaming at them about some emotional baggage that we weren't willing to talk about before. So instead of control, we talk about building quality relationships, right? Just in the same way that you build a quality relationship with your body. I don't control my body. I negotiate with my body. If I'm feeling tired, I support my body. If I know I'm going to, I support my immune system. I support my body with food. I support my body with water. I support my body with rest. And I know here in the West, we still don't do that either. A lot of us don't have a good relationship with our body. Why? Root chakra. Haley, you're welcome. I really love the analogy because it brings levity to it. It lets us laugh at it and lets us also see how benign these things can really be. When an emotion comes up, if we have the capacity, the awareness to see it happening, just like a fart, you go, wow, interesting. I must have eaten something not so great earlier, right? Anxiety comes up, anger comes up. You're like, oh, somewhere in my lifetime, I felt unsafe. And so this energy manifested, thank you, to defend me. Anger, I appreciate you. You've done a really fucking bang up job, literally, of keeping me safe. Thanks. But now that I'm here, the conscious I, the first mate to my captain, because I'm not the highest self. Now that I'm here, I would like to negotiate a different way to go about this. Right? Thank you, Tiziana. I'd like to do this differently because, hey, I'm not so keen on like getting into fistfights on the side of the road anymore. Maybe it's not so cool. Maybe it's kind of embarrassing when I've got a kid in the car and I want to teach him something different that I start screaming obscenities at somebody who just cut me off in traffic. You know what? That's not working for me anymore. Expecting other people to cater to my ego or whatever, that's not working for me anymore. My favorite way to say it is, the lady in Starbucks who's screaming about the wrong milk and everybody's like, woman, hun, it's just some milk. Like, let's all come, She's throwing the same tantrum She's throwing the same tantrum that she's thrown again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's the same fucking fart again and again and again and again. And as long as that keeps working for her, even if it doesn't work for her, as long as she refuses to look at it, to acknowledge that that stinks and that she can align and heal it and that it's not the only way to operate, then she will continue to do that. And that's faith, right? We were talking about the self-fulfilling prophecies. The patterns be patterning because there is some stinky cheese stuck in your gut. When we talk about healing our past, going therapy, going and doing a hypnosis so we can go back, way back when, right? I spent a lot of years trying to do that until I realized that the reality is everything that you need from your past is alive and well inside of you now. You don't have to go anywhere to find it. That internal family systems, that little kid you that was scared by being left alone, or that teen you that got stabbed in the back and like struggle with trust, those are still alive and well and operating in your here and now, and you see them in your reactivity. So the lady in Starbucks who's throwing a tantrum, you see the 2 or 3-year-old who's not getting her needs met. And when we see that, we can say, oh, I have compassion for that little girl in you, that little girl part of you, that part of you that's still struggling to get your needs met or keep yourself safe, right? But I don't have to accept the behavior from the adult. Important distinction there. So, with the root chakra, I don't feel safe, right? The root chakra says, I'm not safe. Let's see. I wanted to roll back here on some questions, make sure I didn't miss anything. Haley, it takes the weight away and makes it easier to let go. When our emotions rise, it's an inhale and exhale. If we can find this rhythm, this is really what mindfulness is all about. Like, let's even put aside meditation. Let's put aside mantras. Let's put aside all the tools, any of the doing, and practice mindfulness itself. What is mindfulness? Aligning your intention and your attention to the present moment. That's all. When I have my awareness here in the present moment, when my awareness is in my body and in my current actual physical reality, I have the capacity to perceive what is actually happening here and now. But many times I'm doing the dishes and I'm worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow and thinking about this thing that happened 16 years ago. Where am I? Not here doing the dishes. Yes, physically, yes, but where is my awareness? Off elsewhere. And what's going to happen? I may drop a dish, break a cup, miss some food on the cup because my brain is somewhere else. So when we align our intention and our intention very, very simply, then we have that feeling of, oh, anger, before it's, anger, right? So we practice mindfulness so that we can develop the awareness enough to hear the whisper of our trigger before the trigger comes out and becomes the massive dragon or angry tiger or whatever it is that your particular triggers are, right? How they manifest as. Badass Blind Woman, you say, how do you bring yourself back into your body when you're experiencing a strong emotion? Sometimes it feels impossible, especially if we have imbalance in the root chakra. It can be much more difficult, especially if we are used to staying outside of the body. It can be very difficult, especially when the body feels dangerous or like an unsafe place to be, right? So what are the best ways to do that? Is really, again, just awareness. One of my favorite practices, I know I've offered it before and I'll offer it a million times, is just sensory awareness. And we can all do this right now. And I want you to notice, first of all, just take stock for a second. Notice how you're feeling. Maybe check on your heart rate. Put your hand on your heart. Listen to your breath for a second. Notice your body. Are you sitting on your foot? My foot's a little numb. I didn't even notice, right? I wasn't completely in my body. So let me adjust here. And let's do this practice all together. Just take brief note of how you're doing. And then we're going to do this practice. And then we'll take note of how you're doing after. So first, look for the color red. We're just going to go for red this time. Look for the color red. Find everything red in the space that you're in. And each time you find red, place your eyes on it and then imagine that your eyes are absorbing the color, right? Know that that's a frequency of light that is coming towards your eyes, right? So it's actually touching your eyes. This red is actually coming into your eyes and filling into your head space. Can you hear the color red? Can you smell the color red? Look for the color red. Everything red in your space. Look for all the red and see how much of that red you can perceive. Can you taste that color red? All of these red things. Don't worry about where they're from. Don't worry about what they're for. Don't worry about who gave them to you or some story that's with it. Just all of the red things. Look for all the red things in your space. Now close your eyes and listen for all the sounds in your space, in the immediate space around you. Listen to the sounds in the room. Listen to, maybe there's an air conditioning going on. Maybe there's somebody else in the space you're in. Listen to the sounds in the room around you. Now stretch your hearing really far out. See if you can hear way, way, way far away. Search for the farthest away sound that you can hear. You don't have to name it. Don't have to know what it is. Just search for the farthest away sound that you can hear. Take a big, deep breath in, and on the inhale, listen to the sound of your breath. Bring your awareness all the way into the sound of your breath. Slowly exhale, listening to the sound of your breath. Inhale again.
What you doing?
Just listen to the sound of your breath.
I hear Timmy's goofy all.
Feel into your heartbeat.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll call you later.
And see if you can hear the sound of your heartbeat. Listen for the sound of your heartbeat.
You added me, so stop adding me. Snapchat and illegally. Get a lot.
Listening for the sound of your own heartbeat. Go ahead and flutter your eyes open again and look into your space. No particular color, just start noticing the shapes. Notice the angles of things. Notice where there's shadow, notice where there's light. Now notice the quality of your breath. Now notice the quality of your body. Now notice the quality of your awareness.
So,
Hey, hun, can you take that outside?
here.
Thank you. Notice the quality of your awareness now. This is what it feels like when we learn to align our attention and our intention. And it was just as easy as paying attention, as giving my attention to the space around me and to the things happening inside of me. Now I'm in the here and now. And I can trust that in the here and now, everything I need is going to manifest. Everything, Kitty. Everything I need is going to manifest. How do I know that? because the child inside of me who felt unsafe when I was 6 months old is an energy pattern that lives within me every day, all the time. And so when that energy pattern starts to shift and change, when it gets triggered by some sort of memory, right? It's going to shift and I'm going to feel it. If my awareness is here, I can feel it. Again, everyone, this is a CAYA space. CAYA stands for Come As You Are, and we expect that everyone who arrives is capable of personal responsibility enough to come in with curiosity and willingness. If you come in with judgment or condemnation, we will go ahead and just mute you, because what you are saying is that your energy is out of balance in such a way that you are not even aware of the way that you are projecting your imbalances. So thank you for the example of what an out of balance energy body looks like. Thank you for giving us another example of what it looks like when we operate from an unconscious place, from unaware of the fact that because my root chakra made me feel unsafe, or I felt unsafe when my root chakra was developing, I now project that out into my world. So judgment, right? Condemnation, dishonesty, a lot of the arrogance, a lot of these imbalances, all of these imbalances are rooted in your chakras. Natalie, sorry, badass blind woman. That's a unique situation, right? You said since losing your visual anchors, you've noticed it's harder for you to come back into your body. Another practice I use, so sometimes the visual piece is not enough for me. If I am having, for example, anxiety, if I am dealing with anxiety can be so intense that it's difficult for me to get back in my body, because my body is responding to that anxiety, right? It's gripping, it's clenching, it's vibrating at a higher, we all know how that feels, right? So what I like to do, one of my favorite practices, I'll add another practice here, to bring myself back into my body, is to simply tap my fingers. And I will simply do thumb to pinky, or thumb to finger pad. And there's actually each finger and a mantra, sa, ta, na, ma. If you want to add a mantra to it, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. And what are you doing when you're doing this? You are addressing each of the energy channels in the body. Fire to air, spirit, earth, water. Air, spirit, earth, water. Air, spirit, earth, water. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. And you can say this to yourself, or you can just start tapping your fingers back and forth. Sometimes I like to go back and forth and like double tap back and forth to try to, like, depending on the intensity of the anxiety, I find this practice is very helpful to get back in the body. Another practice too is just jumping up and down, right? Somatic jumping on your heels sort of deal, walking outside. Big Bang Hank, you have yoga and mountain biking keep you in a flow state. Nice. But even that, yoga and mountain biking, you can do those without your awareness, right? You can go do those and still have your mind wandering elsewhere. Have you ever been in yoga class and your mind is doing a million other things, not yoga? And we may experience benefit from those yoga classes, but it's not the depth of benefit that we can receive from them when we bring our attention and our intention. The most powerful tools that you have are your intention and your attention. I want to talk about those for a second because they are so powerful. Your attention, your intention is like your guiding light. This is like your North Star, right? When I set an intention for myself, I'm saying, I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. I want to take this journey. I am giving myself permission, right? Or saying that this is what I intend to do. If I'm, let's say, navigating on a ship on the ocean and I say, I want to go towards that star, right? And then my attention is elsewhere, what happens to my ship? It doesn't stay on course because my attention is the compass. My attention is the compass that keeps me aligned with my intention. So if I am even doing something as benign as doing the dishes or driving home, I set my intention to drive home, and then my attention is wandering in a million other places, what happens? I can arrive home and go, oh shit, I missed like 6 blocks back there, right? You've ever done that? Where you're like, oh, I didn't even realize I just walked by this and that and that. Why? Because my attention was not here, was elsewhere. So I was not fully present. When we bring those things together, this is what amplifies. It becomes the magnification for your personal power, for your intentions, for your ability to be present and successful in whatever way we define success. So you will hear me talk about those things a million times over, because even if we're talking about, I like to talk to my kiddo about this one, right? If you want to practice magic, right? If you want to manifest things, if you want to make shit happen in life, the most important things for you to have, really the first and most and only things you really need, are your intention and your attention. Crystals, spells, yoga poses, mudras, all of these things are tools to amplify the energy of your aligned intention and attention. That's the cheat code. And a purple crayon. The purple crayon is manifested by the alignment of our intention and our attention. And visualizations can be very helpful too, right? And this is why there's not just one tool for everybody, right? One mudra that works for everybody to align these things, or one magic spell that everybody can just say these words and suddenly, right? If you've ever tried to manifest, or if you've ever tried to do magic, if you've ever tried and not succeeded in it, you'll be like, oh yeah, the words themselves, the crystal itself, the candle itself is not where the magic is not where the power really is. You are the channel for that power. You are the conduit for that power, for that energy, right? And for us to manifest that energy, for us to make things happen and interact with our world, we need to be a clear channel for that energy. When our channels are gummed up, blocked, kinked, energy does not flow freely through. What are those gummed up, kinked, sort of blocked things? That's the triggers, that's the imbalances that have manifested in your body and in your life because of those early experiences during your chakra development. Big Bang Hank, yes, I do know about remote viewing. I am an energy worker, and I do my energy work through remote viewing and through astral projection. But that's not the subject today. But we can talk about that a little bit more too, in another live or elsewhere. So, the root chakra. April is all about the root chakra, and I have not been very good at making you guys videos like I said I would, and I'm so sorry, but also I have been doing some very good self-care and working on my root chakra, because the root chakra is all about, do we feel safe? Do we feel safe? And to be honest, there's a lack of safety in my personal experience of my life. And I know that that has a lot to do with those really early experiences. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my pants. Big Bang Hank, I'm full of information. I am an information. I joke about being like, I have this toolbox. I've got this big toolbox back here because my whole, like from the get-go, I came into this lifetime and I was like, ooh, and started consuming information. and intentionally went to study human development and wellness across the lifespan, right? My degree is in human development and wellness from prenatal to postmortem. I studied the whole lifespan and then did certifications and other programs on top of it to integrate what I already knew or understood through my spiritual experiences and through understanding energy work, and then translating it into, honestly, the whole goal was like, hey, I found something cool. Here, look at this, guys. Like, my whole life, I've been that kid who's like, did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Because I found so many cool things, and it makes me so excited. It makes me so energized to be able to translate this and to be able to find the magic between studying human development, child development. Well, Erik Erikson says we develop this way, and Piaget says we develop this way, and Montessori says we develop this way, and this other guy says we develop this way. Okay, but what does that mean for the whole person? And how did it turn into an ego? How did it turn into emotions that are like, bam, ha, fixed it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, anger. You did not fix it. You just knocked them out. That's not a result. That's not a solution. Thank you, everyone. So I just want to add a little note here. This is the full-time thing that I do. I am live on TikTok and I am live on YouTube. I am asking everybody who appreciates the work that I do, benefits from the information that you receive, if you can go to patreon.com/move with change and sign up for a membership. I have a $5 membership. If I had 500 of you guys over there paying me $5, I would have nothing to worry about. Right now, I have to reduce my classes because I can't afford to keep doing the classes as much as I was. Last year, I was teaching 4 classes a week, plus creating a bunch of content. That's how much I want to give you. I want to keep putting all this information out. I can't do that if I can't keep the internet on. So for those of you who have been supporting me and helping to make sure that those things stay paid and managed, thank you so much. I do offer coaching level memberships. I do offer everything from this $5 membership that says, hey, I just fucking love you. Here you go. Thanks so much for what you do. All the way up to a several $1,000 membership, which is our coaching intensive. It's a 40-day, every single day session. This is something that if you are going through a major change or you're having major chaos or having major upheaval in your life and you need something right now and you need something every day, that's that 40-day coaching intensive. Please reach out to me if you are considering that so we can talk about it, because it does require scheduling that and making sure that you can show up for the full 40 days. Why do we do it for 40 days? Because it takes 40 days for us to fully integrate a major change and shift into our lives. And I really love doing these shifts with people. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out. Send me a message. Otherwise, I have all levels of membership, and I need you guys to do me the favor, cross the bridge from social media to membership. There are perks. If you guys are signed up on Patreon, I offer you mugs and sweaters and fun things that come mailed to you and all sorts of shit like that. I don't want to have to ask for money, but we live in a world where I have to pay bills. And for me to feel safe and balanced and be able to continue to do this work, I need you to go over to Patreon and I need you to grab some kind of membership. Or I have a Cash App tip jar, or there are other ways you can help. If you have skills or editing time or you want to be a moderator, reach out to me. I offer things in exchange for trade too. So all of that said, thank you so much for those of you who support, and please, 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 those of you who love it, go choose to support. TikTok takes 60% of what I make. So if you can go to Patreon, I get the rest of that. So thank you. I love you guys. Okay. Big, shiny, sparkly, rolling, giant Mary Poppins garage toolboxes. That is exactly what I have. What's funny, now that we're talking about the root chakra, is that my toolbox looks red. It is one of those classics, like Snap-on or whoever, toolboxes that is a red with the silver and the black and the chrome and the black. And yep, that's exactly what that thing is. There's a whole rabbit hole. That's a whole rabbit hole. Let me just pause my own rabbit hole. Hey, Brian, how are you this morning? Okay. So let's talk about tools. I think at this point, hey, Wisdom Weaver, at this point, we've talked about the energy body. We've talked about the root chakra, right? We've discussed kind of how these things manifest, how the imbalances manifest as our ego characters, right? Let's imagine, and then we'll offer tools in just a second, because I want to go through these. How does it manifest into ego characters? If I don't feel safe in my earliest 6 months, right, or in utero, if I don't feel safe, and I need to move my energy up, right? Or the imbalances in my chakras that manifest because of my early experiences are going to manifest as character behaviors, as emotions, as choices I make, as beliefs about the world and other people, as literally the way that I see the world itself, right? If I don't feel safe in my root chakra and I've never really had the experience of fully feeling grounded and safe in my body, then everywhere I look in the world, things are going to look unsafe. My brain is going to be looking for what is wrong. And again, that goes to that self-fulfilling prophecy piece that you mentioned, Faith, where we look for the thing that is triggering to us. Why are we doing that? Is it because my brain is attacking me? No, your brain and your energy are trying to keep you safe. Thank you. It's not the most effective way, and it's not very mature, but it's trying to keep me safe, right? Oh, Nate, what's my new YouTube channel? I am Move with Change. I Move with Change on TikTok, on YouTube, on Patreon. I think I still have an Instagram. I'm sorry I don't use it. I'm not on Facebook, but I am Move with Change wherever. I'm probably I think I'm on the only Move with Change. So I Move with Change wherever I am. I Move with Change. Patreon, YouTube, and TikTok are the most important places to follow. We have 12,000 followers here on TikTok. If literally, like I said, if I had 500 of you or 1,000 of you go and do the $5 a month membership, I wouldn't have to worry about shit. Right now, my kid's about to grow. Actually, he did just grow out of nearly all of his clothing. And I need a phone stand. And the internet bill is due. You guys want to go over there and help me out? But I'm learning to find balance between that, receiving support, and offering these things. Because for me, so much of my energy and the way that I have developed because of my experiences meant that I have constantly been giving of my cup, pouring my cup out to other people, and some of you may relate to this, pouring all of my resources into everyone else. Why? Because I don't value me? Because I don't love me? No, I love me. I recognize my value. But the message I received during my development was that my value for others is in what I do for them. I was only valuable and a good kid when I started to do the chores, console my siblings, help with other things, be quiet and kind and nice. I was only valuable when I started to do things that other people liked. That was the message that I received way early in those lower chakra experiences. If you can relate to that, what it means is that your energy body is operating from the way it knows to keep you safe best. Does that mean that you should continue emptying your cup into everyone? No. Blessed be my mother, who taught me this through her own experience. She chose to be a martyr for her cause, for her purpose, and it's a beautiful thing. She's a beautiful woman. She's a wise soul, taught me so many profound things, and I'm deeply blessed to be her daughter. At the same time, I watched her live her life with her cup upside down, and then suffer deeply with feeling loved and cared for and seen. And it's hard sometimes, right, when we see those things in our parents. Because how do you... She's not open, I guess, to having the conversation, or I don't know. I don't want to deconstruct my relationship with my mother at the moment. Yes, Audrey, that's why so many women would end up with autoimmune disorders. In fact, again, right, the energy body goes across, can interact with everything that we experience, we can treat through the energy body. Autoimmune diseases, misalignment in your spine. For me, neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome, compression of the thoracic outlet area right here. This is where all these nerves and tendons and blood vessels go from the back of from your base of your skull down through your entire body. So for me, those get cut off. My collarbone is cutting off my brain's access to the rest of my body. Why? Fear. Trying to protect myself like this so much of my life. And trying to hold my energy in so much of my life, right? As many of us do. You can see someone's chakra imbalance by the way they hold their body, by the way they use their voice, by the beliefs that they have, by the way they look at you, right? Everything we do is a projection of where our energy body is. Big Bang Hank, I don't care about possessions anymore. I get great joy from selfless acts of kindness. They're important. Selfless acts of kindness, right? And we have to balance them. We have to balance them with selfish acts of kindness. Self-centered acts of kindness. Because you, right? The message I gave to my mother, was that you keep trying to give your shirt off your back, but you are stark naked. There is nothing to give if you keep doing that. And we actually do a disservice to the people that we are giving to when we're giving them emptiness. Because we're not fill with our cup. When we fill our cup, when we clothe ourselves, bathe ourselves, feed ourselves, do these basic self-care things, being self-centered, not selfishly, self-centered. I recognize that I am valuable and I require a degree of care that is imperative to my successful, authentic expression. But most of us, again, in the West, operate like this. We're just like barely getting our shit handled, barely getting our needs met, constantly off balance, running through life because we're not balanced. We're not walking peacefully through life, many of us. We're screaming through life because our chakras are out of balance. Our energy is all frantic, trying to get us through our day so we can just survive. We're stuck in survival mode. I'm talking about shifting us to thrival mode through awareness of that, through the energy body. So when you feel your energy screaming like this, grab one of these tools, right? Whether it be that sensory awareness we talked about earlier, where you just stop whatever you're doing, literally freeze. In my brain, there's a pirate who goes, freeze! And I stop. And I use all of my awareness to take in the environment around me. And I use all of my awareness to take in the environment within me. Because they are one and the same, right? One mirrors the other. In fact, our universe is made up of what? Mostly not physical matter, but mostly this dark ethereal matter energy. The universe, the amount of mass of physical matter in the universe is far, far less than the other stuff. And yet we are taught in the West to ignorantly pay most of our attention to what we can see, touch, feel, hammer, and nail. And by doing this, we miss the entire universe that exists within ourselves. We miss the interaction between our inner cosmos and the external reality. We miss, and we don't even understand, we can't even perceive of, when we're operating in that way, the fact that my energy, when I walk into a room, I interact with the other energies in the room. Period. All of us do. You are not an island unto yourself. And yet only you can be responsible for you. I like to talk about the body as a vessel, right? And that's not a new thing. I'm sure you guys have heard it as a vessel before. A vessel for source, a vessel for spirit. Yes. But it's almost as if we are each born with a note, a song to sing. Imagine that this vessel is an instrument, and source energy, your life force, is the breath that plays that instrument, is the fingers on the strings. Your memories are the fingers on the strings that pluck those chords. You are intended to vibrate at your unique frequency. Your fingerprints, your irises, they are uniquely you. Why are you a miracle? Because no one has ever existed exactly as you. That's fucking magnificent, right? So then why would the universe create this exact you? Just you. For you to fall in line and be like everybody else? For you to whitewash and paint yourself so that you're not colorful at all? For you to wear all black so nobody sees how your beautiful greens and reds and yellows interplay? Instead of a chorus, we're smashing everybody into a line and saying, no, everybody march, 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 shut up and sit down and do what I say and go to work and do your thing, and everybody eat the same amount of food and everybody sleep at the same time and everybody watch the same bullshit and everybody believe the same religion and everybody... It would be like going outside when there is a beautiful rainbow and saying, yellow is the only good color up there. Everything else is bullshit, and if you believe in purple or red or green, then there's something wrong with you. Everyone needs to be a yellow, okay? And if you're not a yellow, you're broken and wrong. I have never, in my most profound and most silly experiences of God or Source or conversations with Christ, ever heard the message that you are all supposed to be the same. It's the opposite. You are uniquely here because we need your song. Because you're... Bill, I believe in teal. Thank you, Bill. And you can be teal, right? You can be whatever color you are because your unique song, it's like having a chorus. We need the wind instruments. We need the percussion. We need all sorts of different things. And we need you to find where you fit in the collective. How do I find, what do you mean find where I fit? Because I feel like I don't belong. I don't feel safe. I feel like I don't know who I am. I feel like I'm so broken and out of balance that I can't even find that person. Are you kidding me? I don't think I'll be able to heal. How many, right? These stories back there. From sitting and suffering for so long, those stories start to go and go and go. Everything inside of you is flowing through the path of least resistance, is moving you through the path of least resistance to your highest good. Those emotions that come up, those triggers that come up, they're not there. The memories that come up to attack you, the repetitive thoughts, they're not trying to hurt you. They're saying, hey, something's out of balance down here. Can you come help me clean up this mess? Can you come help me realign things? My puzzle pieces are a little backwards and inside out. It's not how I'm supposed to sing this song. My throat is a little bit sore. Can you help me soothe the throat? Your energy body, your emotions, these triggers are begging you to give them your attention, to practice self-care. Because when you fill your cup, when you allow yourself the space for your authentic expression, even when it's scary, even when it's uncomfortable, even when we're not used to doing it, then what results naturally flows over to others and out into the world. There's a difference between selfish and selfless, and both of them are extremes. Selfish, and it's just me, screw everybody else. Selfless, oh, I don't need anything, here, everybody else, take everything. So I like to talk about self-centered. Self-centered says, I am valuable, and I am the foundation, I am the bedrock, I am the soil from which everything else in my life grows. So I must nourish and toil within. And when that happens, when I do that, what occurs? But then my garden is abundant, so abundant that I can share apples and Brussels sprouts and onions and whatever it is that's in my garden. That when someone comes and asks, I'm hungry, I'm cold, I'm tired, then my garden is full and says, there is space for you here to sit beside me and nourish yourself in this energy. But we must remember that our job is not to harbor other people's suffering for them. But instead, it's to give them space to put down their weight, put down what they're carrying. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Okay. As much as we've been told opposite, your self-actualization is your purpose. Sparkle, you want to help mod? That would be fantastic. Thank you, friend. Let me see if I can mod you real quick. And then, Badass Blind Woman, I'm sorry, I'm going to answer you here really quickly. Let me see if I... Do I know how to do it? I know how to do it. Yay! I can do things. Add moderator. Thank you, friend. Okay. Thank you. All right. Oh my. We're going to go ahead and block that one real fast. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. So, thank you, moderator. Thank you, everybody, for helping me to cultivate this safe space for everyone. Wow, we must be doing something right? If we are garnering some trolls. Thank you. Thank you for the attention. We really appreciate it. Badass Lemon, when you asked, do I have any tools to help us protect our energy? I love this question because I want to flip it on its head again, right? Do we have tools to protect our energy? What's the best way to protect my energy? I can set up boundaries. I can set up armor. I can set up fences and use all sorts of things to contain my energy body in a way that does protect my energy. The best way to perpetually or consistently protect myself from the energy of others or from imbalances in my energy, which usually manifests as calling in the energy from others, right? That is by aligning my energy. So honestly, one of the best things that you can do when you feel like you are being energy coming at you, right? Or somebody's sending negative energy your way, if you know they're doing it or perceive that they're doing it. Sorry, there's a little bit of an eye roll. The pirates are a little bit expressive today because yes, people can send us energy. People can totally send bad juju our way. People can send hexes and whatnot our way. But the reality is that you have the capacity to vibrate yourself, to resonate at such a higher frequency that those energies can't get you. It's shadow energy, dark energy, dense energy. There's a density, and then there's an ethereal, right? There's a spectrum of light. Just like the rainbow, right? Purple is a very different wavelength than red, right? So if we're vibrating at all this red or all of this density energy, if I am vibrating or if my energy is turning like this all the time because I'm trying to protect my body and I'm doing it with anger and I'm doing then I'm going to experience a lot more of that energy because the universe is going to echo that back to me. This is some of the ways that we manifest or, call in those self-fulfilling prophecies. What I resonate at, it's going to echo back at me. So when I find myself in these places, I intentionally, first thing I do is to give that awareness, full awareness. Oh my gosh, I noticed what was happening. Yay, good job. Right? Pause, give yourself a pat on the back and say, yay, I noticed, I did a thing. I'm here, I'm present with myself. And that feels really good and nourishing just to be present. And then I give it my attention. Okay, what's going on? Road rage is one of my favorites because it still manifests for me. So, hi, road rage. I hear you. That did feel totally unsafe that thing was going on, right? I could stay in that lower vibration, I want to change it from low to high to dense to expansive, right? Because there's judgment in low and high. Let's talk about just the density versus expansion. Anger, sadness, fear, these oftentimes, sadness can be a spectrum too. These oftentimes are energies that make us go, ugh. If your energy is going, ugh, you're going to have a lot more of that coming to you. So when you find yourself doing this, my first thing is to open those hands and lay them in my lap and to open my eyes and look far away. Look as far away as possible and then look a little closer and then a little closer and then a little closer and then a little closer and a little closer until I close my eyes. When I close my eyes, now my awareness is inside. And I look into my third eye, and then I look at the tip of my nose, and then I look at the tip of my chin, and then I look into my heart. And then I listen for my heartbeat. I feel for my heartbeat, listen for my heartbeat, and I feel the way that my chest rises and falls around my breath. I feel the way that my heartbeat is not just in my heart anymore, but I can also feel it in my neck and maybe in my armpits and maybe in my hands and maybe in my belly and maybe in my feet. Just that awareness alone makes your energy body go, that exhale is expansion. That exhale is letting go of that tension so that we can be fully present in the here and now. Because instead of, right, real strength is not being able to overpower everybody and everything. In fact, if we are so strong, so physically powerful, it can cause us so many other imbalances when we're doing that, right? An overgrown bully is still a bully. Doesn't make us more powerful. True power comes from not even having to experience that and being able to walk through the situation. I'm not there yet. In some situations, I can be successful somewhat, but we're all growing and we're all learning these things right now. We're doing it together, right? So now that we've spent a little bit of time, I think, are we ready? Do you guys want tools? Oh, gotta check my connection. Again, if things get wacky here on TikTok, remember I am on YouTube. Please go follow. I'm Move with Change on YouTube. I'm Move with Change on Patreon. Those are the two most important places to follow me so that you can stay updated and catch me live. TikTok is not the most reliable. It doesn't want you to see these awesome tools. I don't know why. I don't know. We could get into that topic, but let's talk about the root chakra. Tools for the root chakra. Okay, first and foremost, color. Go get yourself some red. I have this nice red cape. The reason I like the cape is because it's also nice and big and covers my whole body. So this is the color of the root chakra. It's a red that I like, which is kind of like a brick red, right? It's a little darker. I've got a hood I can hide in because the root chakra is about whether or not I feel safe. When I don't feel safe, I can go put this on, wrap myself up in it, and I know that just by the simple act of wearing this, I am aligning the vibration of my root chakra. How is that even happening? What the hell are you talking about? The color red this is light reflecting here, right? This is light that moves through this and it vibrates at that frequency. The root chakra is doing the same thing. So I am bringing the frequency of what I want the root chakra to feel, because my root chakra, if I'm feeling scared, it may be this like really weird, gross color of red. If at all, it might even be so light that I can barely see the color or barely experience or feel the color. So I'm going to bring in more of that color. You can close your eyes and imagine the color red. You can use visualization to imagine your whole body filling with red. A mantra, the Bij mantra or seed mantra for the root chakra. I'll give you guys a seed mantra for every single root chakra as we move through these. Remember, 2025 is our Inner Light series. Okay. Oh, side note. When I offer tools, I have an Inner Light series map in the shop on patreon.com/move with change. There's a Inner Light map for $5 in the shop. It's 4 or 5 pages PDF. And when I offer tools, those are the pages where you're going to want to write down the tool. You're going to want to write down what it does, how it works. And then there's also pages in there for you to record what your experience was when you were using the tool, how long you used it, what you used it for, all that kind of stuff. So that's a really helpful thing. Again, it's a $5 download and you can download it once and print it off 1,000,000 times. I wanted to make a big journal for you guys so you guys could record all this stuff. But the reality is it would cost a ton for me to make it and sell it. I don't want to do that. $5, 4-page PDF. Go get it. Patreon.com/move with change. You can download it and you can track every single tool I offer you, whether it be in the lives or through my content. So go ahead and find those. Now, we're going to talk about some of these. So if you don't have that PDF yet, you can also go grab a journal and just start writing these things down and then go get your PDF later. It's called the Inner Light Series Map because we are doing our Inner Light series this year. Okay. The Bij mantra, the root mantra, the seed mantra for the root chakra is LAM, L-A-M, LAM. And with any Sanskrit mantra or any Sanskrit word, really the focus is the resonance. So instead of worrying about the pronunciation of how I'm saying it, LAM, lamb, lam, lam, la, la, don't worry about exact pronunciation, okay? Let the perfectionist sit in the back seat for a minute. I want you to focus on the resonance. I want you to focus on the feeling of the word in your throat, in your head, in your nose, in your ears. I want you to feel it on the back of your head. I want you to see if you can feel it all the way down in your root chakra. So that sometimes looks like opening up your throat, opening up your voice, and being a little bit louder than you're comfortable with. If we're just whispering, it can help your root chakra, yes. It will help your root chakra, yes. But if you want the full effect of any mantra, you want to really resonate with it. You want to really get into it. Yes.
Where's the glue?
What kind of glue?
Any kind. Super glue would be best. Because I'm trying to put back together my slingshot.
Ooh. Super glue for the slingshot?
Yeah, to put those two, to connect those two pieces together.
Oh, it's like the V part broke?
No, let me show you.
Okay.
I put
Side project. Okay. So, LAM. 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 You need a new string for that.
I put a bunch of
Super glue won't work. You need a new string because you need it to expand and contract. I can help you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be done in just a little bit. Okay. LAM, L-A-M. I encourage you to sit with that mantra and practice it as long as you would like to. Again, this is one that you want to focus on the way that it resonates in your head. Okay? You want to hear it echoing in your head, just like an ohm. If you're uncomfortable with vocalizing like that, I encourage you to do it in a place where nobody's listening for a little while until you can really get that nice and deep resonating. Another way to do this so that you don't have to vocalize is to listen to root chakra frequency. You can go find solfeggio frequencies online. There's all sorts of opportunity or all sorts of resources for frequencies that match the frequency of the root chakra. Let me see. That's another vocalization. Another easy way to remember, if you want to tune all the chakras, damn it, I'm taking us away from the root again. If you want to tune all the chakras, you can use the scales do, re, mi, fa, so, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti. If you sing them on key, right, then you can align all the chakras at the same time. You can go through the whole thing. Okay, but we're talking about the root chakra. So, precious jewels for Christ. Jesus loves you too. Yes, and in fact, we are teaching the kind of things that Christ was conveying to us as well, about the energy, about the source that exists in our heart, and the way to reach our connection, our intimate personal relationship with Source, with God, is through the heart, through our energy body, and through using these tools to clarify our systems away from things that are contractive, things like hate, things like judgment, things like condemnation, things like saying, if you don't believe like I believe, then there's something wrong with you. Christ never said you should do that. The energy is most important, and that energy is, I love myself because I am of God, just as I love you because you are also of God. It's the most important piece of Christ's message. And so when we talk about energy, when we talk about the chakras, when we talk about the heart and source vibration and things like that, this is not the opposite of Christ. In fact, Christ is fully present and alive and well in me and in this space and in these teachings, because this is where he led me. I'm a reverend. I've been a reverend for now 11 years. Yay! And I started in Catholicism, and it was Catholicism that opened the door for me. So welcome in. Come in and hang out, and we can talk a lot more about it. So right now I'm offering tools to help balance and align the root chakra. Our root chakra is our first experience of manifesting into our physical body, into this manifestation of reality. Hi! Hi, I'm a human. I've got to figure out how to integrate into humanity, right? And if anything goes awry that makes us feel unsafe in our bodies, our energy is wise enough, thank you, my energy, Source, God, speaking energy through me, right, moves up into my body to keep me safe. So if that happens, I may later on need tools to be able to re-ground myself back in my body. If my early experiences said, you're not safe to be a human, you're not safe in this body, it's not safe for you to be here, I may operate then, and everything I build about myself, my personality, my beliefs, the way that I project things, the way that I judge other people, is going to be based in that belief that I am not safe inside my body. That belief may not even be rooted here because it manifested in the first 6 months of my life, when my brain was not even fully developed. I was not even fully conscious in the way that we consider consciousness as an adult, right? We are operating in the delta gamma brainwave stuff when we're out here doing our thing, right? You and me chatting, doing these things. But when we are operating in the dream time, REM sleep time, that's the theta brainwaves. As children, we stay in the theta brainwaves up until the age of 8. We fluctuate in and out, and we don't come completely out of the theta brainwaves until the age of 8. So you are essentially in the dream time up until the age of 8. And that's when a lot of this deeper stuff gets settled into your whole being. Precious jewels for Christ. We can't, what you said, oh dang, Sparkle. They were saying that we can't trust our emotions. And I really want to respond to this one, because in reality, we can trust our emotions. Our emotions are a really good example of the way that Christ works through us. Christ works through us by allowing us to go through these experiences of our imbalances manifesting. Our emotions are our reactivity, are our bodies and our subconscious's reactivity to our interaction with the world. And if I am reactively angry every single time this thing happens, that says more about me than it says about the other person. And Christ would say, I take responsibility for that. I manage that. That's not somebody else's fault that I'm having anger. That would be like Christ walking around and being pissed off at everybody for, like, that's the opposite of those teachings, right? So we use our emotions to help navigate where we need Christ's energy, where we need to enlighten, where we need to bring love and source back into our bodies and into our awareness, into our beliefs. Because that density, that judgment, that blaming others, that projecting external says it's your fault. It's your thing to deal with. You have to handle this. It's the internet connection. If you guys want consistent feed, you got to go to YouTube. YouTube is consistent feed, right? TikTok likes to lag my content. See? TikTok likes to lag my content, especially when we talk about great things like how the energy body and Christ and Source run through us and are connected, and how these are not opposite things, but they are actually interwoven. Badass Wine Woman, you asked, is there a tea that would be good for the root chakra? Ashwagandha is one of my favorite go-tos for the root chakra, because ashwagandha is an all-over wellness tea. The only thing I would suggest with ashwagandha, blessings to you too, lady. The only thing I recommend with ashwagandha is if you are out of balance, or if you are not feeling well, like if you are sick, if you get cold or something, pause on taking the ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a supportive tonic, but it can keep you stuck. It's like it's intended to help perpetuate a good state of being. So if you are really not well, if you're really out of balance and you are taking ashwagandha, and I don't mean like your whole chakras, I mean like if you're sick. If you're generally healthy, take ashwagandha. It's going to be supportive. But if you are feeling sick or something else is going on, choose other ones. And if we're talking about other things for the root chakras, eating anything red, right? Tomatoes, berries, I don't have to list the things. Anything red. You can eat things red, wear things red. You can look at things red. Bring red things into your space. Decorate with red things. Sleep with red sheets, right? All these different things will help align this. Billy T, yes, I am dressed this way because of it. We were talking about how this is a tool that I use when my root chakra is feeling imbalanced, when I am feeling unsafe or not well, and if I'm not in my body, I can wear red to help me bring that back. Now I'm doing it on purpose. I feel plenty safe, don't worry. But I'm doing it on purpose to, whatever it's called. Yeah, the thing. So, let's see. So let's do trust versus mistrust. Is the question of is the dynamic of the root chakra. It's asking, am I safe? The root chakra is associated with the sense of smell. So our sense of smell is, we can address the root chakra by going and literally stop and smell the roses. What does that do? That gives you an opportunity to be fully present in your body with your sense and to receive something that's sweet and lovely, right? Sweet. Hi, Isaiah. Going and smelling roses can absolutely help to align your root chakra. And these things, like I said, these things seem simple. The reason they seem simple is because your energy body is actually really easy to access. You are constantly working with your energy body. Most of us are doing it unconsciously. So the point in these tools and these classes is to bring conscious awareness to it, so you are no longer operating unconsciously. When we're operating unconsciously, our triggers pop up because we're not fully present, and they drive and they take the ship and they make us do things. Oh, they made me do it. Oh, I had no choice. I was totally justified. I don't even know what happened. My body just took control, right? You've been there, done that? Yeah, that's unconscious operation, and that means you're not fully present with your experience or with the actual present moment, because those triggers are written into your psyche, into your physical self, into your emotional self, into your energetic self to repeat over and over and over again. Why? Because they're harassing you, attacking you, because they're out to get you, because somebody's, sending psychic attacks to you? No. It's so they can be healed. There is something out of alignment, and when something's out of alignment, it's going to cause emotional gas. It's going to cause triggers again and again and again, just like the check engine light in your vehicle. It's going to keep turning back on until you find the root of that issue, okay? So The owls were out last night, actually, as well. There's my wise owls that help me see. They help me see. Athena used to carry an owl on her shoulder to help her judge fairly and help her see all perspectives. And it's a very powerful medicine for me that I really enjoy and have had close to me most of my life. So the root chakra, in terms of other things, like the planet that rules the root chakra is Saturn. The astrology sign that rules the root chakra is primarily Capricorn. We can be a little bit not shifty, but it's a little bit malleable with the signs and the planets because of different energies. And you'll hear a lot of different people come at it from different perspectives. But Capricorn, being grounded and rooted in that root chakra, being very, very deep into the earth. Capricorn has a really good hold on the earth, right? Capricorn's the goat, able to like climb up the side of the mountain kind of deal. Saturn, grounded, heavy, like, what's the word? One of the biggest planets. There was another piece for it. It's a yin energy, so it's a passive energy. It's a lunar energy. It's an earth-based, feminine energy in our root chakra. Bij mantra is Lam. You're chuckling now, Curtis. Good. That's what this space is for. That's what this space is for. Good chuckles. So let's do a couple of mudras. I really, 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 like, I'm going to take a camera out. Part of my issue is my phone stand broke, so I haven't been able to take my phone out and record these things for you guys quite as successfully as I was doing before. So if anybody wants to go over to Patreon or to Cash App and drop something in there so I can grab a new phone stand, that'd be great. Thank you guys so much for supporting all the work that I do. Let's see. This Capricorn definitely came in to work more deeply on root healing. Nice. So let's work on some of these mudras. I'm going to start with the simplest of the root chakra mudras that I want to offer. This is also by far one of my favorite for facing any fear. The imbalance in the root chakra is fear, right? What does it look like when we're out of balance? We are very fearful in our root chakra. We find it very difficult to trust others or the world. We may feel like the world is so big and scary that we don't want to go out very far into our world. We don't explore our world. We don't feel safe in our world. We don't feel safe in our bodies. We don't feel safe enough to be ourselves. We don't feel grounded. We don't pay attention to our bodies, right? These are all manifestations of an imbalanced root chakra. Thank you, Phoenix. Saturn, divine cosmic mother and womb of creation. I was stuck on the astrology, like father energy of Saturn. Thank you, my friend. So one of my favorite, I'm already doing it. One of my favorite mudras for the root chakra is the Abhaya mudra. The Abhaya mudra, I want to tell you about the energy of this mudra before I do this mudra. The energy of this mudra, let's imagine that you are standing right now in front of a massive crowd of people. As far as you can see, out into the distance, there are people all out there. And there is, Denise, I am Move with Change on Patreon, YouTube, and TikTok. Move with Change. And I'm the only Move with Change. Patreon, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you, friend. Imagine that there's this massive crowd of people. As far as the eye can see, there is no end to any of it. And there is a cacophony. They are not happy. In fact, they may be here to get you. But you are standing at the head of this crowd, just elevated enough that they can all see you. And all you need to do to subdue this crowd is lift your right hand. Feel that. I want you to feel that. I invite you to feel that. To hold your right hand up, palm out. Bring the hand up in front of your shoulder-ish, a little bit out in front of you. Not in the center, not blocking your heart, but over to the side here. And if you can, if you want to, if it feels good, close your eyes and imagine that angry mob coming to get you. You raise that hand, and all of a sudden, a wave of quiet washes over everyone. Because from this, yes, Julian, the Neo Mudra, from the center of your palm, a bright, powerful light is emitted. No fear, no anger, no density at all can exist in this light. Imagine standing in such confidence, in such calm, in such a knowing that all you need to do is raise this palm to that crowd and they quiet down. This is the Abhaya Mudra. And it's one of my favorite because it's not twisted, it's not complicated. I don't have to twist my fingers in all these weird ways. I don't even have to like remember a hand position or, just, this is pretty natural. The Abhaya Mudra. When you experience fear, or when you experience any of those, somebody mentioned before, when we have inner voices that are attacking us, or thoughts that are harassing us, or our body is really getting at us, right? When something inside of you is occurring, or outside, that is really fucking loud, remember that you have this power. And as soon as you do that, you will feel the... Now you have the opportunity to be present and to have a conversation with, or negotiate with, or talk with the individuals in that crowd. You may even realize when that crowd quiets down that it's not even a crowd. It's actually just like one little version of you who was really scared once upon a time. Why does that fear keep coming back up? If it's so scary and dangerous and that part of me didn't want to be afraid, right? Why does it keep coming up then? Because it needs to be healed. Because it needs to be realigned. Because that part of you that decided that the world is scary, other people are scary, or certain situations are scary, or whatever's happening inside is scary, is out of balance. And says, please bring me back into integration. Please integrate me again so I can feel safe. Imagine the infant who is left out in the cold on their own. How long it might take holding and comforting that infant for it to feel safe again. Glitterby, I'm so good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Good morning, friend.
Hiya.
Yes, son.
How much longer is on your live?
How much longer? Just a little bit more, and then we're going to go down and bring the chalk paint to the river. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And
I was worried
then-
it was going to rain this morning, so.
And then after that, if we still have time, can me and Trin play
Yeah, totally.
Roblox?
Totally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and Trin.
So this is the, thank you, Jonathan. You're very welcome, Maria. This is the symbol of the root chakra. Excuse me. This is the symbol of the root chakra. This is the symbol that represents that represents the root chakra. It's a 4-petaled flower with a square and a triangle in the center. This is the symbol for the root chakra.
Here's your pillow. So it doesn't fall down again. Yeah, stuck on too much.
Okay. So, some of my friends here say, thank you guys for giving us time to chat and do the class and stuff like that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Hello, dog. Thank you also for giving us time. I know we're not ready yet, but we will go down to the river and you're going to have river dog time. Do you want river dog time? You do? You love river dog time? I love you. I know. I know. Give me just a few more minutes. Could somebody make me a bagel though? You want to toast it, but not so dark as I did yours. I'm sorry I burnt your bagel. Please? Okay, I love you too. All right, I've got a couple more mudras to offer, because those honestly are some of my favorites. Because they are accessible. I will make content as soon as I get myself a new phone stand. I will make you asanas and mudras content so that I can, like, yeah, you guys can, what? Ajna.
Mama.
What?
What temperature should I put it on and how long?
I think you can just leave it on the setting and just put it on for like barely, like not even on the dark toast part.
Okay.
Please. What? There is no 800 setting. You
There's air roast though. That's how you set it.
Uh-oh. We've instigated shenanigans, you guys.
Let's do it.
Jonathan, are there mudras for physical healing? Yes, there absolutely are. So as we're talking about in here, we're talking about the energy body. All 2025 is our Inner Light series. We're talking about all the layers of the energy body, and I'm emptying my toolbox to you guys for the tools for each of the chakras. When we work with the energy body, the reason we work with the energy body is because it goes through every layer of self. Physical self, emotional self, mental self, whatever. My loves.
Your son is a bad kid.
Shh, please. Let me just finish up, please. I know that... Go. No, I'm serious, please. Respect the space, please, or you guys gotta go outside. Thank you. The goose is empty. We're almost done. Okay, so... Curtis, how do we spell the first mudra? I will write it up here. I really like whiteboards. I'm a Virgo, can you tell? Here's the first, the sillies are kicking in. Exactly, you guys. We have like 20 minutes before the sillies take over. So, let me see if I can spell this backwards for you guys. Wait, because I can't write it forwards, right? Yeah, it's backwards. Which way does the Y go? Which way does the Y go? Abhaya. Abhaya. Yeah, I can flip my camera, but it's more fun to spell it backwards because I got YouTube and TikTok going at once, so I have to flip both cameras. But I like to spell backwards. I like to write backwards. So, this is the first mudra I offered. Remember, the Abhaya mudra is this. Bring that right hand up to your shoulder and know that this has the power to subdue a massive angry mob. Right? You're welcome, Curtis. The Abhaya mudra. The next mudra is the Rudra mudra. And we do this one by bringing the index finger and the ring finger to touch your thumb. Leave the middle and pinky extended. The Rudra mudra, another balancing, grounding energy for the root chakra. These mudras do other things. Like I said, I'm going to make content for you, and I'll put all the info for all these mudras in each of the videos that I make. I like making these videos. I like making the content, so I will get to it once I got to get a phone stand. I got to get going again. Okay, Rudra, R-U-D-R-A mudra. Like so, one hand or both, and you can just rest this in your lap. The thing I love about mudras is that I can passively hold this mudra and be working on grounding myself while I'm in any situation, anywhere. You guys are likely to have seen other people in the public sphere holding mudras. You guys recognize this one? Yeah. That's a mudra. This is a power mudra. And there are people out there using this mudra to boost their self-confidence while they're in the public sphere. Mudras are so powerful that, yeah, they're that powerful. They're that effective. So, do I have a wish list somewhere, Glurby? I think I have it on in my link tree. Yes, I think I do have a wish list on my link tree. I'm very scattered. I've got like lots of tentacles in all different areas of the internet, and I could totally use somebody to help me like shore up and like clean up my presence on the internet, because I'm just me and I don't know how to, I'm just doing this as best I can so I could try to get the information out to you guys. It's really just, I'm here getting it to you. Sorry I'm scattered. Patreon is the best place to go. I do have a link tree, and I think there's a shop on it too, and it's kind of hit or miss about the link tree. I think I've heard things don't work sometimes and they do other times. So you're going to use the Abhaya Mudra tomorrow on your family? Nice, nice. This is a really good one. You can use it in those situations too. Okay, so we've got the Rudra Mudra. Is pigeon pose a mudra or just a stretch? When you use your whole body, so mudra is hasta mudra, are what I'm teaching in here. Hasta mudras are hand mudras. We can actually do, when we do asanas, asanas are a type of physical full body mudra. So yes, mudra is just this gesture, this thing that we do for the particular purpose, for the particular thing. But pigeon pose in particular, not only does it, address the energy body, but the asanas are much more focused on how to address the energy by using the whole body, which is why I will offer content for mudras or for asanas for the root chakra. One of the, if we're talking about asanas for the root chakra, a really, really good one to help ground your energy through your root chakra, to help fortify and strengthen your root chakra, is a squat. Malasana, the squat pose, right? Or if you just want to squat down, that can help a lot to send that energy down into the earth. If you're somebody who likes visualizations, close your eyes and imagine your roots digging down into the planet. Dig those roots deep, 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 deep as you can go. Visualize every layer of the earth as it's going through. Imagine that they reach all the way to the center core of the earth, and when they do, they start to pulse. Because when they start to pulse, they will pull that dense earth energy, that safe, secure, warm strength of the planet itself up into your entire system. This is one of my favorite meditative visuals, my practices that I use when I'm feeling ungrounded. I will literally, wherever I'm sitting or standing, close my eyes and check on my roots, send them all the way down, and start feeling, along with my heartbeat, that energy pumping up from the earth and filling my whole vessel red. The power, again, doesn't come from the tool itself. I can close my eyes right now and imagine my roots. I can hold a mudra and not receive the benefit. Why? If my attention and my intention are flitting off elsewhere, then I won't receive the same level of benefit or intensity that I would if I gave it my full and undivided attention. So when you practice these things, just like the Abhaya Mudra we just did, give it your attention. Notice how it feels, not just visual, but feel it in your hand. Feel that light emitting from your hand. Feel the peace that washes over even your body. Feel the way your heartbeat starts to slow but stays strong and steady, because you are that powerful that you can stand in front of every fear, every shadow, that entire angry mob, and lift this thing here. There is no fear in the face of your presence, of this mudra. So when you're visualizing those roots, all of your attention, smell the earth as they're digging down into the earth. And when they get down there to the core, when those roots start pumping and bringing that blood up, bringing that core earth energy up, feel it, the way that it starts to warm in your feet first, or on your bottom first if you're sitting down, right? Your pelvic floor is touching the ground. So when those roots start to bring that energy up, notice the way that it starts to tingle. Notice the way that the warmth starts to move up through your belly and soothes your digestive system as it moves up past your diaphragm and wraps around your rib cage and flows through all the veins in your lungs and warms the breath, soothes the heart, right? All of your attention. Yeah, there you go. Right? When anybody gives that negative energy, whether it's external or internal, we have to remember. We don't have to remember. You don't have to do shit. You don't have to do shit. But I encourage you to remember that everything that we perceive outside of us is mirrored by what is inside of us. Does that mean I made my boss lady get angry and I made her be mean to me? No. I didn't create that all by itself. This is a major interaction between lots of different factors. But the way that I experience her projection is entirely about me. So I have a choice. I can perceive that perception as an attack on me, a judgment, something I should feel shameful or guilty for, or something I should defend against. Or I can sit here and go, oh, you are experiencing something. And do I have the capacity to hold space for it? Maybe. Maybe that day I do. And maybe that day I can say, wow, and hold space for her to just be angry, right? Sometimes we need to just off gas and let shit go, and we're not good at doing it. And sometimes we get really lucky when we have an employee who's willing to take our listening to our bitching shitty day thing, and we feel better. That's a whole nother rabbit hole about how we like project our energy and weaponize our energy. If my emotions are out of balance and I'm feeling unsafe, then I project that onto others and then I attack others. And the way that I feel safe again is because I have stolen energy from their finite system. I have taken energy from them that way. Thank you. Sorry. That's okay. That's okay. Just leave it, please. Thank you. That's all right. The bagels got burnt today. So, we don't want to weaponize our energy, just as the same way we wouldn't trap somebody we love in a car and fart in the car. We don't want to use our energy to shoot arrows at the people we care about, right? That's not going to find us balanced. That's not going to find us healing. That's not going to support our expansion, our growth, or our enlightenment, right? It's going to keep us fighting in dense energy. Great question, Badass Blind Woman. If you have an imbalanced root chakra, does it affect your reproductive system? No. They're not completely separated because this is an integrated system, but your sacral chakra is where your reproductive system is what rules your reproductive system. The root chakra actually rules your elimination. It rules your grounding. It rules the overall physical wellness, physical body. But reproduction and intimacy occur in the sacral chakra. Thank you for asking, though. Joey, can we rest our consciousness on or in the moon, sun, planets, or just parts of our body? So I love that you asked this question, and now I'm falling behind again. One of my favorite practices and one of the most profound things I learned through studying Eastern philosophy and Eastern sciences was the fact that here in the West, we perceive our perception to be a singular point that exists right here somewhere. Right? Generally, if you ask, where are you? Where do you perceive from? If you were to ask anybody, where's your perception? You'd be like, well, I see stuff from here, right? When we do these visualizations practices, what we realize is that what are you doing? You're moving your awareness. What we would just do a second ago when we're talking about going to the center of the earth, you can move your awareness all the way down to the center of your earth. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Let's do it for a second. Close your eyes and focus on where your attention normally is, right? Here behind your eyes somewhere, maybe in your brow a little bit, behind your nose, I don't know. Your attention's right here. All of your attention, give it all of your focus right where you normally are. Now shift it down to your nose. Imagine that you are looking out at the world, not with your eyes at your nose, but you are looking out at the world from the tip of your nose. It's okay if you're like, I don't know if I'm doing it right. Just set the intention and focus on the sensation, on the perception. Better yet, shift it and put it all the way down in your belly button. Imagine that you're looking at the world from your belly button. Did you get a blip? Did you get a visual? Did you get a feeling? Did you get a shift? If you felt anything move while you did that, that is moving your awareness. And you are increasing your awareness of your capacity to move your awareness. Your awareness is actually associated more with your energy body and your heart, because your heart can perceive so much more than these limited five senses can. This is your sixth sense. My eyes can only perceive a small section of light. that, even animals can see more than I can. My ears can only hear so much. My ears can only hear so much. There are other things, there are other sounds that exist outside of it. So how am I supposed to perceive more than my physical density, my reality like that? I have to get past the reliance on just these five senses. Where does that exist? In the heart, in the energy body. We can move our stuff around. Absolutely. Keep moving your energy or your awareness around. Jonathan, you're not good at it and you need to meditate more. Again, I want to bring it back again. Remember, mindfulness, meditation is a personal practice. The more you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you. I would highly suggest you don't go for the most complicated practices first off. In fact, I suggest starting with the most simple stuff. I will catch up on messages here. Most simple stuff. Listen to the sound of your breath. Feel the sound of your heartbeat. Mindfulness, meditation is just the foundation of it, is aligning your intention with your attention and bringing them together into the present moment. When we do that, then meditation starts to emerge. Because in that space of alignment and awareness, now I can start to explore what meditation offers. Kate and Ryan, there is only ever now. Exactly. There is only ever now. So why am I worrying about tomorrow? Why am I toiling with yesterday when now is all that exists? Most of us spend our time in some version of tomorrow and yesterday. So rarely here in the West do we really spend our awareness here. You're doing dishes, but you're thinking about the last time you did dishes, or you're thinking about who else should be doing dishes, or you're bitching about this and this and this. You are not here. If your awareness is somewhere else, then you are not fully present. And that's the foundation for meditation. Before you go into the deep, crazy, intense practices of meditation, just start cultivating your awareness. When you do dishes, give it all of your attention. When you're driving in the car, give it all of your attention. When you notice your mind has wandered off when you're in the middle of something, bring it back. Yes, at first it's like herding cats. I know, because your cats are untrained and it's a barrel of monkeys up there and probably some pirates and some monsters and all sorts of shit going on, right? Because it's uncultivated. This is a muscle. This is something we can cultivate. This is a skill that we can work on, practice. It is not always something that comes naturally, that comes perfect for all of us. Most of us learn to ignore it and hide it. I need my charger, and then we will do a couple more. I figured you were a creeper. Okay, just 1 second here. Sorry about shifting you around. Okay. Now, where's the mic? Okay. Cicada, I remind you of Ram Dass. I am not your guru. Hello, my name is Reverend Deborah. I'm an interfaith minister, and I am a movement facilitator, and I am your shenanigan shaman, that's for sure. I definitely bring the shenanigans. But I am not your guru. You are your own guru. Can you learn from Ram Dass? Can you learn from me? Yeah. Can you learn from ancient teachings and modern teachings and the random person on the street who just says something insightful? Yes, of course. Everywhere, all the time, are opportunities for us to learn. But without my inner guru, I won't receive or integrate or understand any of that out there. If I want to make a big, there's the bell to confirm. If I want to make a change, let's say I want to wake up earlier. I want to start waking up earlier so that I can start doing self-care in the morning, right? Now, I'm going to set an alarm, and it's going to help me wake up. And I'm also going to tell my partner, if I don't wake up to my alarm, kick me out of bed. Okay? All right. And I'm also going to tell my friend, if I don't show up to the class that I'm going to show up for because I'm getting up early, then you got to come to my door, right? I want you to come to my door and knock on my door to wake me up. I can set up all of these things outside of me to help me accomplish the thing. Yes? But ultimately, I can ignore my alarm clock. I can ignore my partner pushing me out of bed. I can lay on the floor if they push me out of bed successfully. I can ignore the door when my friend comes over. Nobody can actually really force me to do and to make the change in a way that's going to be successful and that I can sustain, right? This is what we mean by nobody can really make you do anything. Yeah, you can physically push me. Yeah, you can yell at me. Yeah, you can control in a way. But that inner guru is my source of this is my inner compass. That inner guru says, pause, feel, experience, listen, question, integrate, consider. Meet everything with curiosity and willingness, because when I meet everything with curiosity and willingness, I have the opportunity to receive. This is what my guru does inside. Cultivating that inner guru says, I can be, am the wisest within me. There is a mantra that we use in Kundalini classes and Kundalini practices, because Kundalini is also very much about cultivating our inner guru, our inner connection to our higher self. And that mantra is Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. And it simply means I honor the lineage of gurus that has come before me in all of their successes and in all of their failures. And I also honor the guru within. If it's freezing, you got to go over to YouTube. Go to YouTube if it's freezing. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Oh, it was so good. TikTok didn't want anybody to have it. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. I honor the lineage of gurus that has come before me, and I honor the guru within me. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Yeah, frozen. It was too good, guys. Okay. Well, YouTube, and whenever TikTok comes back on, they'll get it too. YouTube, 2 more mudras, and then we're going to go ahead and close out for the day, okay? 2 more mudras. Hopefully TikTok will come back online soon. So we did our Abhaya mudra. We did our Rudra mudra, which is, again, the index finger and the ring finger coming together, right? YouTube, you guys can still hear me? Can you guys still hear me over there? Okay. Rudra mudra. Next one is the Shakti mudra. The Shakti mudra is also good for the sacral chakra, but the Shakti mudra helps us connect to our feminine source, feminine grounding, right? The Shakti mudra goes like so. We tuck our thumb into the palm and curl the the index and the middle finger over top. Okay? Keeping the ring finger and the pinky extended, touch these together. So your Shakti mudra will look like so. And you can just rest this Shakti mudra in your lap. Again, this is connecting us to the divine feminine, which is the root chakra, what rules the root chakra, right? That's the energy of the root chakra here. And then we have the Gada mudra, the Gada or club mudra. This is the one that's specifically for the Muladhara chakra, that's for the root chakra. And this one is a little bit more twisty. So we bring our palms together and then we create 2 interlocking circles with the index and the thumb, like so. Awesome, Phoenix, thank you. And then we keep just the middle fingers up, folding the rest. Take your time getting into these mudras. They may not always feel comfortable right away. So if this is a little bit kinked or a little bit sticky, I encourage you to maybe adjust a little bit, open it up, create more space, loosen up the other fingers, find how close you can get to this mudra, and then sink in deeper as you practice. Okay? So again, we have... Oh, TikTok is still frozen. They're out there trying to figure it out. I can't comment, though. Bummer. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Glitterbee. Okay. All right. So let's go over our mudras really quick. Abhaya mudra, right hand, holding here in front of the right shoulder. Then we have our Rudra mudra. You can do it with both hands. Bring the index finger to touch the thumb and the ring finger to touch the thumb. Keep the other two extended. Rest it in your lap. And then we have the Shakti mudra. Shakti mudra. Tuck your thumbs into your palm. Drop the first two fingers over top. Keep the last two extended and connect the hands like so. Boom. Shakti mudra. Divine feminine. Connection to the divine feminine. And then we have our Gada mudra, the one specifically for the root chakra, for deepening our connection to the root, for fortifying and strengthening the root chakra, grounding ourselves in our bodies. Palms together. Interlace the index and the thumb into two circles, into interlocking circles. Keep your middle fingers extended and then interlace those last two. This is the Gada mudra. This one's really nice. Hey, Curtis, welcome over here. Yeah, TikTok froze. I was watching you guys chat over there about it being frozen. I wish I could say, come to YouTube. I need to write it in the background. Is it frozen? Go to YouTube. I will next time. Okay, so Brittany, yay! Hi, guys. Okay, so does anybody need, I just gave 4 mudras. Before I close out, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want any review of the mudras or any review of any of the tools that I've offered? Or are there any other things that you want to ask about the root chakra itself? Welcome, everyone. I think this might be the way. We'll just have TikTok over here in the background, and I'll have something on here that says go to YouTube. Let's see. Muladhara, root chakra, located at your pelvic floor, located at your perineum. If you're sitting down, you're sitting on your root chakra. It resonates at the color red. It is ruled by the planet Saturn and by the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Bright pink stars. So if pink is the feminine of the root color, is the brick red more masculine of the color? So typically it's really just kind of depends on the frequency that feels good to you. It's more about what your body needs, what your energy needs for balance. For me, the reason I mentioned how the pink is like the lighter, more feminine color is partially because it's very culturally so. Right? Culturally, we perceive pink as a very feminine color. And so for me, my root chakra imbalance and the things that occurred in my root chakra told me that it was very, very dangerous to be feminine. It was very dangerous to be okay and live in that like feminine kind of space. So wearing pink or having pink in my reality was not safe. right? It was associated with my personal triggers and my personal experiences and the way that my culture portrays or considers pink, right? It doesn't technically mean that it's the frequency of pink. Red and all the reds are associated, all shades of red are associated with the root chakra. How it manifests in your body and in your experience is going to be uniquely your experience, is uniquely your journey. So, yeah. Speaking unbinding the sacrum back root chakra. Phoenix, thank you so much. So TikTok is going to miss all this. So the root chakra, right? Every chakra has like a front and a back. The root chakra and the crown chakra are technically the front and the back of the central energy channel. This is your central main energy channel, and then each chakra has a front and a back that makes an energy channel that goes through the body. These I call are like manifested chakras. I don't know, or our physical, our matrix chakras, because we interact with the matrix and with our world with a lot more with our sacral, with our solar, with our heart, and with our throat, right? The root chakra and the crown chakra are our connection to the source energy, higher, lower, divine, whatever, or not whatever, but universal life force. Our third eye is the only one that's off kilter, and it's at a 45-degree angle. The front is here and the back is here at the base of the skull where the pineal gland is. That is our information highway between the matrix self, the illusion that we are in, and the higher reality, the outside of the illusion self, right? So that's why these are the matrix chakras. But the root chakra, if you are dealing, we're not talking about the front of it and the back of it. You're going to be talking about your bladder, your area for elimination, or front or back kind of elimination, as well as the lower part of the spine, the sacrum, as well as your pelvic floor and the general positioning of your pelvis and your joints at the hips, right? So this whole area, some of the best ways, honestly, to align those things are with asanas. I'm really, really a huge fan of yoga therapy, or at least trauma-informed yoga. I do teach a class on Wednesday night that's available for anybody who has any level of paid membership. I think TikTok is still dead. It's still died over there. Wait, I just lost my train of thought. Root chakra, perineum, pelvic floor, yoga therapy. I teach a yoga class on Wednesday nights. That's right. For any level of membership, you can go grab one at patreon.com/move of change. And as soon as you do, you should get a Zoom link to do that, to join yeah. You'll see the post that has a Zoom link. But trauma-informed yoga, dealing with the misalignments in your spine or in your hips, I highly recommend really just taking yin yoga therapy, walking, circling your hips. Some of my favorite movements, honestly, hula hooping is amazing for helping to balance the root chakra and regain the mobility. So it's also going to help with your sacral chakra too. That needs to be in our root chakra to keep us grounded as well as fluid, so we don't become stiff and rigid in that place of fear. Balancing issues with digestion are going to help with the root chakra as well, because if you're having trouble with things like constipation and whatnot, that is going to affect your ability to, that's actually, constipation can be caused by our root chakra because we don't feel safe, right? So we hold really tightly into the root chakra. So even things like doing Kegel exercises, right? Purposely isolating the muscles, tensing and releasing those muscles in your pelvic floor, are going to really help to bring awareness to this area. And awareness itself is exceptional for helping to align these things. So I think those are my biggest first off recommendations. If you've done a lot of those things and you're still wanting to like unbind the energy that's in there too, then I definitely recommend going deeper into things like coaching or classes or what have you, or finding finding other resources for getting into that deep space. Yes, absolutely. All right, my friends. So I am just a little over time. Ooh, it's 11:11 and there's 11 people in here. Thank you guys all for hanging out here on YouTube and if TikTok, if you guys can hear me now, YouTube is the place to be because TikTok freezes. I love you all. Thank you for this time. Thank you for joining me. Please go over to Patreon and support me over at patreon.com/movewithchange. Go to the shop, get that inner light map and start writing down, keeping track of these tools and your experiences of your energy body each day. Watch for content. If you have questions or if they come up later on, comment on my content so I can make you more content about them, right? And if you have time to help, if you have any way you can support the work that I do through moderating or for editing or anything like that, please reach out. You are very welcome. Thank you all. I love you. Sorry TikTok stopped working, but it was what we expected, right? All right, my friends. I'm just going to end the live. All right. Mwah. I will be here again next Saturday. Same time, same bat channel.